Looking back through all of the ninja squads to ever come out of Konoha, there is one that has had far and away the biggest impact on the ninja world. A squad so full of game changers, it almost doomed everyone to life in a dream world. Their relationships between each other and the geopolitical ninja world at large altered the course of ninja history. Of course, I'm talking about Team Minato. Led by the Fourth Hokage, the Yellow Flash of Konoha, this team was made up of the son of a disgraced legend, a member of Konoha's most prestigious clan, and the girl who would inspire both to change their ways. Welcome to the Amagi. We've got quite the compilation for you today. We'll be delving deep into the history of each member of Team Minato, looking at the lives of Minato, Kakashi, Obito, and Rin. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all of our social media. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. Alright, let's dive in. To start, here is the life and times of Minato Namikaze, legendary warrior and jutsu creator with an unknown bloodline and a very short stint as a father. Minato Namikaze was the fourth Hokage of Konohagakure. He was renowned all over the world as Konoha's Yellow Flash. He died during the Nine-Tailed Demon Fox's attack, sacrificing his life to seal a part of the Nine Tails into his newborn son, Naruto Uzumaki. Early life. Minato entered Konoha's academy with the dream of earning the village's respect and recognition by becoming Hokage. When Kushina Uzumaki moved to Konoha, she was placed in the same class as Minato. Minato was immediately drawn to her bright red hair, finding it beautiful. Minato was a natural prodigy as a ninja, the likes of which appears only once in a generation. When he was added to a genin unit, Team 6, under the leadership of Jiraiya, the Sannin took a special interest in Minato and took him on as his apprentice, teaching him many of his own signature abilities. In time, Minato's exceptional skills led Jiraiya to believe that he might be the child of prophecy, someone who would someday save the world. Years later, after they graduated and became ninja, Kushina was kidnapped by Kumogakure forces. Konoha mobilized its ninja to retrieve her, but only Minato noticed the strands of red hair Kushina had left behind to mark their path. Minato, acting alone, rescued her from her captors. On their way back to Konoha, Minato confessed his admiration for her hair and her strength, causing Kushina, who had previously believed Minato unreliable and even girly, to fall in love with him. Konoha's Yellow Flash. Minato and Kushina were a couple from the time that he rescued her, and with his love, Kushina was able to keep the Nine Tails sealed within her at bay. To aid in this goal, Minato was taught many sealing techniques from both Kushina and Jiraiya. When Konoha became involved in the Third Shinobi World War, Minato's obligations became split between his efforts to protect Kushina and helping with the war effort. During a confrontation against Han and Roshi, the two Iwanin unleashed their Tailed Beast modes to attack the Konoha team with their Tailed Beast balls. As Roshi and Han are about to launch their Tailed Beast balls, Jiraiya orders Minato to warp their squad to safety, the future Fourth Hokage being amazed at the Tailed Beast's power. After Minato warped himself and his team to safety, Minato took inspiration from the Tailed Beast Ball, researching its nature, and began a 3-year process of creating the Rasengan. In Konoha, Kushina jolts awake from a nightmare where the Nine Tails goaded her into freeing it. She laments how she can't be alone with Minato due to her bodyguards watching her every step. Excited at the idea of a training session with him, Kushina's hopes are shattered when he tells her that he intends to train elsewhere for a new technique, and she can't follow him outside of the sealing barrier. Remembering her predecessor's words to her, Kushina decides to defy orders and binds her guards, who comment on how her chains are getting stronger as she grows older. Once out of the sealing barrier, the Nine Tails laughs at the Jinchuriki's foolishness. Jiraiya assists Minato in creating his new jutsu, but their efforts prove fruitless as the chakra is too unstable. The Toad Sage talks about the link between one's chakra rotation and the way one's hair grows, but his student has 2 hair whorls which go both ways. A flash of inspiration allows Minato to finally stabilize the new jutsu, but his naming sense leaves much to be desired. After his teacher leaves on a mission, Minato is joined by Kushina, who pretends the third Hokage gave her permission to be outside the barrier, and apologizes for yelling at him. The Yellow Flash says it's he who should apologize because he wanted to complete the new technique for her. The Nine Tails forces its chakra out of Kushina's body, triggering the Tailed Beast transformation and wounding Minato in the process. The fox goads its host into unsealing it, but its attempts are restrained by a sealing jutsu from Minato. Thinking back to Mito's words and hearing Minato affirm his love for her, Kushina unleashes her chains on the tailed beast, managing to regain consciousness. Enraged by the two's efforts, the Ninetales forces Kushina to undergo version 2, piercing Minato in the abdomen, but the future Hokage manages to enter into Kushina's mind world and attack the fox with his new technique, assisted by her. Minato wakes up in the hospital with Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Kushina at his side. Kushina decides to think of a name for his new jutsu and brings him to the same place Mito showed her long ago. As they go up the staircase, Kushina suggests Rasengan, looking at her lover's face lining up with those on the Hokage rock. Minato and Kushina would eventually marry each other. After proving himself an accomplished and responsible ninja, Minato was placed in charge of his own team, consisting of Rin Nohara, Obito Uchiha, and Kakashi Hatake. In the anime, the third Hokage gave Minato the special task of helping Kakashi overcome the bitterness caused by his father's death, and reminded him of the human element of being a ninja. Minato gave his team a bell test upon its formation in order to teach them the value of teamwork. Minato often held back less against the prodigious Kakashi than with Rin and Obito, so they couldn't obtain the bells without teamwork. Unfortunately, Kakashi realized this and then only used Obito and Rin as means to an end to obtain the bells. Nonetheless, he passed them because they accomplished the goal of the test by working as a team, although he did encourage them to improve their teamwork afterwards, a message that Obito and Rin took to heart but fell on deaf ears with Kakashi. During a mission into Kusagakure to destroy the Kanami Bridge, Minato transferred leadership of the mission to Kakashi, who had recently become a Jonin, while he headed to the front lines. He met up with the surviving and outnumbered Konoha ninja and single-handedly wiped out the opposing Iwagakure forces. In the anime, his victory in this battle against 1,000 ninja convinced the third Tsuchikage to accept the peace treaty. When he rendezvoused with his team afterwards, he found Kakashi and Rin surrounded by Iwanin, Obito having already been lost. He rescued them, helped them complete their original mission once they recovered, and returned to Konoha with them to mourn Obito. Minato's competing obligations would later repeat the tragedy of Obito's death. While he was away on another mission, Rin was kidnapped by Kirigakure and died during Kakashi's attempt to revive her. Minato encountered A of Kumogakure a number of times during the war. During their first meeting, Minato and A fought with their speed, with Minato proving faster. He received orders to retreat before their competition could resolve, but he lingered to compliment A and his brother B, a Jinchuriki like Kushina. He encouraged A to take care of B and remember he was a person. A pursued Minato, so Minato moved against B, threatening to kill him if A didn't let him and his team go. Minato was confident that he and A would someday meet as Kage. Fourth Hokage. For his performance during the war, Minato was chosen over Orochimaru to become the fourth Hokage. He taught the Flying Thunder God technique to the Hokage Guard platoon to better aid them in their duties of serving the Hokage at any given time. In the anime, he also tried to help Kakashi, now an Anbu, emerge from the darkness he'd fallen into after Obito and Rin's deaths. During the gradual transfer of responsibilities from the third Hokage to him, the third advised Minato to restore Kakashi's value of life by tasking him with protecting Kushina during her pregnancy. As a Jinchuriki, the strain of childbirth would weaken the seal, keeping the Ninetales sealed into Kushina. For that reason, special precautions had to be taken. The child would be secretly delivered in a remote location outside of the village, with barriers around the area and several Anbu guards as extra protection. Minato was not greatly worried about the birth, and in fact gave Kakashi the day off in gratitude for his good work. He and Kushina had already decided on a name for their son, Naruto, after the main character of Jiraiya's first book, hoping that their Naruto would be just as determined as the character, and thus its author. Jiraiya tried to convince them to make a different choice, since that would make him Naruto's godfather, but they insisted that this was a good thing. Naruto was born on the night of October 10th. Only moments after the birth, Minato began making preparations to restore the Ninetales' weakened seal, but he was interrupted by the arrival of a masked man, otherwise known as Tobi. Tobi killed the Anbu guards and midwives and took the newborn Naruto hostage, threatening to kill him if Minato didn't back away from Kushina. Minato immediately took Naruto back from him, yet discovered explosive tags had been placed on the baby. Minato was forced to teleport away to keep Naruto from harm, allowing Tobi to escape with Kushina. He found a safe place for Naruto and teleported to Kushina in time to save her from being killed by the Ninetales, extracted from her body by Tobi. He reunited mother and son before heading out to protect the village. Minato returned to the village in the early stages of the Ninetales' attack on Konoha, arriving in time to teleport away a tailed beast ball before it destroyed the Hokage rock. He attempted to reach the third Hokage so that he could inform him of what happened, but was interrupted by Tobi, who tried to warp him away. Minato reacted in time to escape, but Tobi pursued him. Because Toby was controlling the Ninetales' actions, defeating him was of prime importance in order to save Konoha. Minato initially struggled to successfully strike him, but after several failed attacks, he finally hit him with a Rasengan and branded him with a Flying Thunder God seal, allowing him to teleport to Toby whenever he wanted. He then used a contract seal on Toby to release the Ninetales from his control, forcing him to flee. No longer being controlled, the Ninetales began retreating from the village, though it continued to attack the Konoha ninja that pursued it. As it prepared another tailed beast ball, Minato once again arrived in time to stop it, this time by dropping Gamabunta on top of it. He had Gamabunta keep it restrained while he gathered the chakra needed to transport the Ninetales to Naruto and Kushina's location, the farthest from the village he could get. Kushina restrained it and erected a barrier so that it couldn't escape while they decided what to do. Already dying from the Ninetales removal, Kushina offered to have it sealed back into her so it would die with her. Minato rejected this, believing the Ninetales' power would be needed in the future if and when Toby struck again. Remembering Jiraiya's words about the Child of Prophecy, Minato decided to believe that Naruto was the child and that he would someday save the world. To prepare Naruto for this, Minato would make Naruto the Ninetales' new Jinchuriki so he could make use of its strength. Because the Ninetales chakra was too immense to seal into an infant, Minato used the Dead Demon Consuming Seal to cut its chakra in half, sealing the yin half into himself. Realizing what they were planning, the Ninetales tried to kill Naruto, but Minato and Kushina used themselves as shields. With his last ounce of strength, Minato summoned Garatora, gave him the key to the seal that he would use on Naruto, and sent him to Jiraiya. Meanwhile, Kushina told Naruto how much his parents loved him, which Minato seconded. He sealed the Ninetales yang half into Naruto, weaving Kushina's chakra into the seal so that she could someday assist Naruto with learning to control the Ninetales and its chakra. He mingled in some of his own chakra too, programming it to activate if the seal was ever about to break so that he could restore it. Seeing the third Hokage nearby, Minato communicated to him a final request for the villagers of Konoha, to think of Naruto as a hero and not the container of the monster that caused so much death and destruction. With that, his soul was consumed by the Shinigami, ending Minato's life. Naruto Shippuden the movie, The Lost Tower. 20 years in the past, Minato and Kakashi are part of a team sent to Roran to stop Mukade, a missing nin from the future, from using the source of the Ryumyaku to make a puppet army that will conquer the 5 great shinobi countries. When they arrive in Roran, they meet Naruto, who Minato realizes is also from the future. Minato tries to get Naruto to leave so that he won't tell them anything that will change the future. However, Naruto believes Minato and his team mean to kill the Queen of Roran, Sara, and attacks them until he recognizes Minato as the Fourth Hokage. In the interest of preventing Naruto from saying anything about events that haven't happened yet, Minato instructs him to protect Sara, also giving him a Flying Thunder God kunai just in case. When Naruto and Sara later fight Mukade, Minato and his team arrive to help. Mukade fuses with his puppets, becoming a giant puppet monster using the Ryumyaku's power. While Sara tries to cut off the Ryumyaku at its source, Minato and Naruto attack him, the former being surprised when the latter uses Rasengan. The attack fails and Naruto is left exhausted, so Minato lends him some of his own and advises him on where Mukade's weak points are. Realizing that Naruto is his son and that they therefore have similar chakra, they're able to create the Supreme Ultimate Rasengan and defeat Mukade. After Minato seals off the Ryumyaku completely, Naruto begins to glow as he starts to return to his own time. Naruto tries to fight it, wanting to talk to Minato and warn him about what will happen, but Minato refuses. Naruto asks if there's at least a chance that Minato is his father, to which Minato responds that if he ever had a son, he wishes he would be just like Naruto. Naruto smiles and sheds tears of joy before being sent back to the future. Minato wipes everyone's memory so that their meeting Naruto won't change the future. Pain's assault. During his fight with Pain, Naruto is nearly tempted by the Ninetales to remove its seal. This activates the safeguard Minato placed on it, causing his imprint to appear within Naruto's subconscious and stop him. Minato says that he isn't happy to see the Ninetales again, but at the same time admits that its actions have allowed him to see his son. Naruto picks up on this and, having never known his parents' identities, is overjoyed to meet his father. The Ninetales keeps threatening to kill Minato while they talk, so he and Naruto relocate. Naruto is angry that his own father would seal the Ninetales within him and punches Minato out of frustration, which he understands and apologizes for. He quickly gets over it, noting that as the son of the Fourth Hokage, he can handle it. Minato's time with Naruto is limited, so he does a quick rundown of the things he has already observed through Naruto. That Pain has destroyed Konoha and killed Jiraiya. Despite what he's done, Minato suggests that Pain is only a symptom of the shinobi system, and that he's being taken advantage of by Toby. Naruto is overwhelmed, unsure if he could forgive pain or do anything to stop the cycle of hatred that produced him, but Minato responds that he has faith in Naruto. He restores the Nine-Tails seal before disappearing. Road to Ninja Naruto the movie. In the alternate world, Minato never became Hokage, and therefore he and Kushina did not die on the night of their son, Menma's birth. While essentially the same as his real-world counterpart, kind, courageous, and dutiful, this Minato values his family's safety above all else, choosing to put their well-being before all others. Power. In the anime, when Naruto nearly loses control after his clone absorbs the Nine-Tails chakra, Minato appears before him again to restore the seal. Once again, Minato voices his confidence in his son and his ability to overcome any adversity. Fourth Shinobi World War. Climax. At the request of Sasuke Uchiha, Orochimaru releases the souls of the first four Hokage from the stomach of the Shinigami so that he can reincarnate them. After taking in their surroundings, the first and second Hokage are excited to meet Minato, the fourth, and take him as a sign of the village's prosperity. Minato says he does not know, since he died before the third Hokage did. While Sasuke talks to the first Hokage, Minato detects Naruto's chakra and is glad to sense that he has gained full control of the Nine-Tails. From listening to the four Hokage, Sasuke decides to side against Tobi and Madara in the ongoing Fourth Shinobi World War. The Hokage are allowed to help as well, and they set out for the site of the allied shinobi forces' battle with the Ten-Tails. Minato, eager to see Naruto, arrives first, just in time to warp away the Ten-Tails' tailed beast ball, saving Naruto and the allies. He introduces himself to Sakura Haruno and asks if she's Naruto's girlfriend. Sakura becomes angry and hits Naruto due to his answer, reminding Minato of Kushina. When the other Hokage arrive, they jointly erect a barrier to confine the Ten-Tails. Sometime later, Tobi appears above the Ten-Tails and begins reviving Madara, which the Alliance focuses its efforts on preventing. Minato cannot leave his position or the barrier will fall, so he sends a Shadow Clone to help. Because Tobi is still branded with the Flying Thunder God seal from their last encounter, the Shadow Clone is able to teleport to him and strike him down. It's only after he attacks that he realizes Tobi is his old student, Obito Uchiha. The attack ends up coming too late, and Obito seals the Ten-Tails into himself, becoming its new Jinchuriki. After Obito destroys the barrier, the first and second engage him to determine his new abilities, leaving Minato to get everyone else to a safe distance. Birth of the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki. Minato joins the offensive against Obito. He can no longer teleport directly to Obito because the Flying Thunder God seal has disappeared from his body, so he must engage him directly. Just before they clash, Obito, having until now struggled to control the Ten-Tails' power, finally masters it and strikes at Minato. He severs Minato's right arm and plants a truth-seeking ball on him, which Tobirama teleports away before it detonates. Minato, the second, Naruto, and Sasuke coordinate their efforts to attack Obito with Flying Thunder God mutually instantaneous revolving technique, but Obito emerges without damage. What's more, Minato's arm has not regenerated, indicating that Obito's truth-seeking balls can nullify the advantages of the impure world reincarnation. Obito traps the Alliance in his own barrier and prepares to destroy them all with a barrage of tailed beast balls. With little time to act, Naruto forms a plan. He and Minato link their respective Kurama's chakra, which networks in all of the allied forces that Naruto has shared his chakra with, and lets Minato teleport all of them outside of the barrier. Minato is very impressed by Naruto's quick thinking, and says he wishes he had more time to talk to him. Naruto explains that there's no need, as he's already met Kushina and heard everything. Minato is moved to tears with pride. Having learned that Obito is susceptible to Senjutsu, Minato prepares for an assault while Naruto enters Sage Mode. They both then enter Tailed Beast Mode and attack with a combined Rasengan, breaking Obito's defense and forcing him to manifest the Ten-Tails tree form. They evade the tree's roots, but Minato's chakra levels are severely depleted. He's forced to keep his distance and watch as Naruto leads the allied shinobi in another assault against Obito. When the Alliance starts to strip the tailed beasts from Obito's body, Minato helps Naruto pull out all the fragments of Kurama's chakra that Obito has taken, and ultimately they succeed. Obito is unable to move after his defeat, and Kakashi moves in to kill him. Minato stops him, having sensed Obito's change of heart while he was removing Kurama's chakra. While Naruto and the allies leave to confront Madara, Minato and Kakashi stay with Obito. Obito reflects on his actions and decides he has done terrible things, which he wants to make amends for by using the Samsara of Heavenly Life technique to revive those he's killed. While he's forming the hand seals, Black Zetsu emerges from the ground and takes control of his body. Minato and Kakashi are confused, so Obito explains that he's been forced to revive Madara instead. Black Zetsu also tries to take Obito's Rinnegan to deliver to Madara. Minato and Kakashi move to stop it, but can't do anything without harming Obito. Before Black Zetsu assumes full control of his body, Obito pleads with Minato and Kakashi to destroy the Rinnegan at any cost. Right before Minato can attack, Yin Kurama alerts him to Naruto's loss of Yang Kurama. He's soon brought to Minato's side, with Sakura performing emergency life support and Gaara explaining that the only chance of saving Naruto's life is if he's given Yin Kurama. Just as Minato starts the transfer, Black Zetsu intercepts him and takes Yin Kurama for itself. Madara arrives immediately afterwards, now the Ten Tails new Jinchuriki, and intent on taking Obito's Rinnegan. Minato enters Sage Mode and attacks him alongside Kakashi, but they're easily repelled and Minato loses his other arm. Before Madara can take what he wants, Obito reasserts control of his body, and with some help from Kakashi, escapes with Naruto and Sakura using Kamui. Might Guy arrives, ready to give his life to defeat Madara. With his energy and arms gone, Minato can do very little to help directly, but at least he can give Guy an opening. He instructs Rock Lee to throw one of his flying Thunder God kunai at Madara's truth-seeking balls, which Minato teleports to in order to catch several and escape with them, allowing Guy to initiate his assault. Minato, meanwhile, teleports to the Hokage Rock, where he remains with the inert truth-seeking balls. He later witnesses the other's failure when the infinite Tsukiyomi is cast and Konoha's villagers are entwined by the god nativity of a world of trees. He attempts to cut some people from the tree but has no success as another branch simply forms and imprisons them again. Kaguya Otsutsuki strikes. Minato returns to the battlefield and reunites with the other Hokage, the only ones unaffected by the infinite Tsukiyomi. As they try to figure out what they can do to help, the four Hokage are met by the spirit of the Sage of the Six Paths, who recruits their help. Combining efforts with the spirits of the other deceased Kage, they summon Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, Sakura, Madara, and the tailed beasts back from Kaguya's dimension. Minato congratulates Naruto on finally ending the war and wishes him a happy 17th birthday. Happy with his son's prospects for the future, Minato and the other Kage are returned to the afterlife by the Sage of Six Paths, with Minato silently promising to tell Kushina everything that had occurred. Legacy. After Minato died, the third Hokage reported to the villagers Minato's last request that Naruto be regarded as a hero. Very few were able to separate their hatred of the Ninetales from Naruto, prompting the third to forbid anyone from speaking of the Ninetales, hoping that the younger generation would not blindly hate Naruto as the rest of the villagers did. He also concealed Naruto's relation to Minato in order to keep him safe from his father's enemies, and otherwise did his best to give Naruto a comfortable life. For years, Naruto did not know of his parents' identities, neither did most of Konoha. Even when he was not aware of his relation to Minato, Naruto still greatly admired the Fourth Hokage, considering him a hero who gave his life for the village, and becoming overjoyed whenever their similarities were remarked upon. Before Naruto left Konoha to begin his training with Jiraiya, he looked at the Fourth Hokage's face on the Hokage Rock and asked him to look after him. After learning that Minato was his father, Naruto took pride in it and felt that it was his responsibility to make his parents' sacrifice worth it. With Minato's death, the third was forced to resume his position as Hokage, a role he fulfilled until his death, never being able to find a replacement of Minato's caliber. Minato himself became regarded as the village's hero, and indeed one of the greatest ninja Konoha had ever produced. So much so that villagers would regret his death whenever tragedy struck the village. Because Minato was never able to tell anyone what happened during the Ninetales attack, villagers came to their own conclusions and the Uchiha were suspected of the act, creating ill will that would culminate in the Uchiha clan downfall. Jiraiya recognized that Minato would not have sealed the Ninetales into his own son unless he had a good reason, and that Minato intended Naruto to gain control of the Ninetales, but could never conclude why. After the end of the Fourth Shinobi World War, his student Kakashi Hatake became the 6th Hokage, and his son Naruto became the 7th. Several years after the war, Minato had 2 grandchildren, who inherited his prodigious talent. Personality. Despite his physical resemblance to Naruto, Minato's personality was considered by both Jiraiya and Tsunade to be the opposite of Naruto's. He was a very humble and collected man. Very perceptive and shrewd, he was noted as to not do something without a reason. He was well aware of the terror his reputation inspired in rival villages and would take advantage of it at times, but even then he would remain respectful to his opponents. A very polite individual, Minato would address others with the appropriate honorifics, directed even towards dangerous criminals such as Orochimaru. Minato also wouldn't pry into other people's personal affairs unless he felt it was necessary, and was not the type to hold grudges, only feeling sorry for Obito despite his role in his own and Kushina's deaths, dissuading Kakashi from killing him. If anything, Minato blames himself for his death for several reasons. He couldn't save Obito from the fate that corrupted him, Konoha from the difficulties that arose after his death, and even his own son from the painful and difficult life he suffered as a Jinchuriki orphan. Regardless of their differences, Naruto is not without any of his father's personality traits. Both have indomitable spirits and fierce ambitions that drive them through all their choices in life. Both are of unwavering loyalty to Konoha and their loved ones, friends, and family, and that devotion inspires all those around them. Like Naruto, Minato had the tendency to create questionable techniques, although in Minato's case, it was the pointlessly long-winded names he came up with rather than the actual techniques themselves. This was seen when he initially considered Halo Hair Hole of Jiraiya inspired by Frozen Dessert Twin-Style Sphere as the name for what he would eventually call the Rasengan. Obito Uchiha is the next ninja we'll be investigating. Born to the Uchiha clan, but never really displaying the innate talents expected of his bloodline, Obito took a very different approach to shinobihood. The fate of the world hinged on his actions, and he took this very seriously. Let's see what made him the conniving mastermind behind it all.
Obito Uchiha was a member of Konohagakure's Uchiha clan. He was believed to have died during the Third Shinobi World War, his only surviving legacy being the Sharingan he gave to his teammate Kakashi Hatake. In truth, Obito was saved from death and trained by Madara, but the events of the war left Obito disillusioned with reality and he inherited Madara's plan to create an ideal world. Resurfacing under the names of Tobi and Madara Uchiha himself, Obito subtly took control of the Akatsuki, using them as a means to advance his machinations, eventually going public and starting the Fourth Shinobi World War. However, towards the war's conclusion, Obito had a change of heart, and as atonement, sacrificed his life to save the same world he sought to replace. Background: Obito grew up not knowing who his parents were. In the anime, he was left in the care of his grandmother. Feeling alone in the world, Obito dreamed of becoming Hokage so that the people of the village would acknowledge his existence. He enrolled in the academy to help him achieve that goal, where he developed a one-sided rivalry with Kakashi, whose natural talent and popularity he was jealous of. He also became a close friend of Rin Nohara, whom he eventually fell in love with. After finally graduating some years later, Obito, Rin, and Kakashi were placed on a team under the leadership of Minato Namikaze. In the anime, as a final qualifying test, Minato gave the team a bell test to test their cooperation skills. Obito could not accomplish this on his own, but by joining forces with Rin and Kakashi, they succeeded in taking the bells, teaching Obito the value of teamwork. The team later participated in the Chunin exams, where Obito was defeated in the third round in a one-on-one match with Might Guy. Kakashi would go on to defeat Guy in a subsequent match, promoting him to Chunin and impressing Rin. Eager for Rin's attention, Obito trained relentlessly, eventually becoming the rank of Chunin himself. His excitement was short-lived, as Kakashi soon afterwards became a Jonin, once again earning Rin's praise and Obito's resentment. During the Third Shinobi World War, Kakashi was placed in charge of the team for a mission to destroy the Kanami Bridge, which would hinder Iwagakure from using Kusagakure as a relief point. Before beginning the mission, Minato and Rin gave gifts to Kakashi to celebrate his promotion to Jonin, though Obito had forgotten, straining their already poor relationship. Minato was soon called to the front lines, leaving the team to complete the mission under Kakashi's command. The three were discovered by Iwa Nin along the way and Rin was captured. Kakashi elected to abandon Rin, believing it was more important to finish the mission before concerning themselves with her safety. Obito became enraged at the idea and insisted that they focus on her rescue. When Kakashi refused, Obito left on his own, remarking that Kakashi was worse than trash for abandoning his friends. Obito located the cave that the Iwanin were using as a hideout, but was found by a camouflaged Taiseki before he could launch a rescue. Kakashi, moved by Obito's earlier words, arrived in time to save him from Taiseki's attack, but lost his left eye in the process. From his desire to help Kakashi, Obito awakened his Sharingan, allowing him to see through Taiseki's camouflage and kill him. Obito and Kakashi infiltrated the cave and released Rin from her restraints. Her captor, Kako, caused the cave to collapse around them. As the team ran for the exit, Kakashi was struck in his blind spot and fell. When Obito noticed that Kakashi was about to be hit by a falling boulder, Obito pushed him out of the way and became trapped in his place. With the right side of his body crushed and with no way to free himself, Obito accepted his fate and made an offering to give Kakashi his left Sharingan as an apology for not getting him a present earlier. Rin performed the transplant, and once the procedure was finished, Kakashi used his new Sharingan to kill Kako. Iwa reinforcements quickly began to further compress the rubble, forcing Kakashi and Rin to leave Obito behind. As the rocks tightened around him, Obito reflected that he had finally started to get along with Kakashi and that he couldn't confess to Rin that he loved her. Kakashi and Rin were rescued by Minato, and then when they returned to Konoha, Obito's name was engraved on the village's memorial stone. Saved from death. In actuality, Obito was rescued by White Zetsu under orders from an elderly Madara. He brought Obito to the mountain's graveyard and tended to his injuries, removing those body parts too damaged to be healed and replacing them with limbs cultivated from the cells of Hashirama Senju. Despite his injuries, Obito's right Sharingan had survived intact. Although frightened by Madara, Obito felt indebted to him for saving his life and was willing to render any assistance he could, an offer Madara made clear he would collect upon. Obito began a long rehabilitation process, eager to recover enough for him to return to Konoha and help his friends and the village with the ongoing war. With the help of White Zetsu and another spiral-faced Zetsu he nicknamed Guru Guru, Obito became accustomed to his replacement limbs and the abilities they granted him. All the while, Madara would tell Obito about the harsh realities of the world and his plan to save it, which the young Uchiha disregarded. During the end of his recuperation process, White Zetsu informed Obito that Kakashi and Rin were elsewhere about to be killed by Kirigakure ninja. Obito was insistent on helping them, which Guru Guru offered to help with by encasing Obito with its body. Before leaving, Obito thanked Madara for all his help and said he wouldn't be returning. Madara made clear his conviction that Obito would return to him. Guru Guru directed Obito to Rin and Kakashi's location, along the way informing him of Minato's absence. When they arrived, they found Rin and Kakashi surrounded by Kirinin, and Kakashi plunging his Chidori through Rin's heart. Rin's death caused each of their Sharingan to mature into Mangekyo Sharingan, a process that also caused Kakashi to pass out. Enraged by what had happened, Obito used a combination of his Mangekyo Sharingan's Kamui and the wood release of Guru Guru's body to slaughter the Kirigakure ninja. When all of them were dead, Obito cradled Rin's lifeless body, ignoring the unconscious Kakashi. He returned to the mountain's graveyard, vowing to do anything for Madara if it would bring him together with Rin and Kakashi again. Madara explained his Eye of the Moon plan, which would replace the contemporary world of violence and death with one where nobody ever needs to die. Obito was intrigued, determined to create a reality where he, Rin, and Kakashi could exist alongside each other. Madara imparted all of his knowledge and plans to Obito, taught him about abilities he would need moving forward, entrusted him with his possessions, and manifested Black Zetsu to act as a guide. Having left almost all that he had to Obito, Madara disconnected himself from the demonic statue of the Outer Path that was keeping him alive and told Obito that until his revival, he was to act as Madara Uchiha. Moving the plan forward, using Madara's name and concealing his identity, Obito moved in the shadows of the ninja world to acquire the remaining pieces of the Eye of the Moon plan. Shortly after Madara's death, Obito and Zetsu went to Amagakure and approached the fledgling Akatsuki with an offer of support in creating a world of peace they envisioned. In truth, he only needed Nagato, in whom Madara had implanted his Rinnegan several years earlier and who would be needed in the final stages of the Eye of the Moon plan. While Obito was almost able to sway Nagato, the Akatsuki leader Yahiko declined. Obito claims he eventually agreed without informing Akatsuki's other members. In the anime, Obito learned of a conspiracy between Hanzo and Danzo Shimura to eliminate Yahiko. He intercepted and killed the members of the Akatsuki that tried to rescue Yahiko, and once Yahiko was dead, encouraged Nagato in a new direction for the organization, one focused on acquiring the tailed beasts. While Nagato became the Akatsuki leader and recruited powerful missing nin for the cause, Obito took on the alias of Tobi and changed his personality around members to conceal his identity. In Kirigakure, Obito at some point took control of the fourth Mizukage, Yagura Karatachi, in the anime being accompanied by Pain and Konan, in effect making him the de facto Mizukage. After Kisame Hoshigaki became disillusioned by the lies of the world, Obito, as Madara, revealed himself to Kisame and promised to help him make a world of truth. Kisame became a loyal servant and one of the few Kirinin to knowingly work for him. During this time, Obito discovered the circumstances of Rin's death, that Kiri had sealed the Three Tails into her to make a time bomb that would destroy Konoha. At Rin's insistence, Kakashi killed her to prevent this from happening. Obito's manipulation of the Mizukage was eventually discovered by Ao, and he was forced to abandon it. 12 years before the start of the series, Obito visited Rin's grave in Konoha. Kakashi was already there when he arrived, and Obito, watching secretly, heard him confide to Rin's grave that Minato's wife, Kushina Uzumaki, would soon be giving birth. Knowing that Kushina was the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki and that the seal keeping the Nine-Tails contained within her would weaken during childbirth, Obito tracked her down on the night of October 10th. He killed her Anbu bodyguards and midwives, which included the third Hokage's wife, and took her newborn son, Naruto Uzumaki, hostage to prevent Minato from interfering. Minato was able to take Naruto from him, which distracted him long enough for Obito to escape with Kushina. He extracted the Nine-Tails from her body, placed it under his control with his Sharingan, and ordered it to destroy the village. Minato soon afterwards arrived to help in the village's defense. Before Minato could contribute much or even tell anyone what had happened, Obito located him and tried to use Kamui to send him away to prevent further interference. Minato was able to escape with his flying Thunder God technique, but Obito pursued him. Minato did not recognize Obito as they fought, instead suspecting that he was Madara Uchiha. He initially struggled to successfully strike Obito, but after several failed attacks, Minato finally hit him with a Rasengan and branded him with a Flying Thunder God seal, allowing him to teleport to Obito whenever he wanted. He then used a contract seal on Obito to release the Nine Tails from his control. Wounded and deprived of his best weapon, Obito fled. Minato gave his life to save the village by sealing the Nine Tails into his son, and thus never had the chance to inform anyone of Obito's involvement. Konoha's leadership nevertheless suspected an Uchiha's involvement, and to that end placed all members of the clan under heavy scrutiny. Years after his attack, Obito attacked the Fire Daimyo's convoy en route to Konoha, placing most of the procession in a genjutsu and killing Tenma Izumo, but swiftly retreats after sensing Kakashi approaching. Years later, the Uchiha, as a result of their mistreatment, began plotting a coup d'etat. Obito returned to the village with the intention of exacerbating the conflict, but was discovered by Itachi. Believing Obito was Madara, Itachi asked for his help in wiping out their clansmen, offering revenge against them for their treatment of Madara decades earlier in exchange for Obito's agreement to spare the village. Obito accepted and offered Itachi a position in Akatsuki. In the anime, during the night of the massacre, he slaughtered the Konoha military police force and killed Izumi. Afterwards, he collected several Uchiha corpses in order to extract their Sharingan for his own use. He also met Danzo around this time, for unknown reasons. Following the attack, he cut his hair and brought Itachi into his organization. Kazekage Rescue Mission. As Tobi, he assisted Zetsu with locating Sasori's body. Once he found it and took Sasori's ring, he expressed his belief that he would now be able to join Akatsuki. They next tracked down Deidara's disembodied arm with its ring still attached. Tobi initially believed Deidara had also died, only for Deidara to appear before them shortly afterwards. Tobi was somewhat relieved to see him, but was concerned for both his well-being and capability with rather offensive jokes, provoking Deidara to strangle him with his legs. Three Tails appearance. Tobi was indeed accepted into Akatsuki as Sasori's replacement, partnered with Deidara. He was assigned to capture the Three Tails. In the anime, Deidara treated Tobi to some dango before the mission, a ploy to get him to remove his mask. He turned away while he ate, preventing Deidara from seeing anything. They split up after eating, and Tobi eventually found Konoha Shinobi using the four-corner ceiling barrier, which he deduced was meant to seal the Three Tails. He informed Deidara of his discovery, and they approached and killed the two Anbu put in charge of the ceiling. When they located the Three Tails, Tobi tried to convince Deidara to fight it in his place. When the Three Tails chased Tobi, Deidara used his explosive clay on it. The rest of the battle went unseen. After they defeated the Three Tails, Tobi claimed responsibility for the beast's capture, saying that his technique was flawless and that it made sense to assign him to the mission. Deidara retorted that it was actually his clay that defeated the Three Tails. Tobi, unconvinced, fell asleep during Deidara's argument. Deidara woke him up by detonating a clay bomb next to him. When they got the Three Tails to the Akatsuki base, the Akatsuki members convened and sealed it. When they were done, they also sealed the Two Tails. The Two Tails is sealed before the Three Tails in the anime. Itachi Pursuit Mission. When Akatsuki assembled to extract the Four Tails, they were informed that their former member Orochimaru had been killed by Sasuke. Deidara was angry that Sasuke killed Orochimaru before he had his own chance to, and so, after the Four Tails was sealed, resolved to kill Sasuke instead. Tobi accompanied him. When they located Sasuke, Tobi approached him first and was immediately attacked. He briefly pretended to be killed and then complimented Sasuke's speed. Having served the role of a distraction well, Tobi sat back as Deidara attacked Sasuke, occasionally offering assistance by planting Deidara's explosives around the area. Deidara became increasingly desperate during their battle, forcing Tobi to retreat to a safe distance to escape the effects of his C4. Ultimately, Deidara resorted to using C0, killing himself and catching Tobi in the blast. Zetsu reported Tobi and Deidara's deaths to the Akatsuki. Shortly afterwards, Tobi met with Pain and Konan in Amagakade. He expressed his satisfaction with Sasuke's development and decided to make Sasuke into his pawn by telling him the truth about Itachi and the Uchiha clan downfall, with hopes that Sasuke would choose revenge against Konoha for what they did to Itachi and the Uchiha clan, rather than carry on Itachi's wishes and returning to Konoha. With Itachi's death imminent, they'd be able to approach him soon. He also remarked on Naruto and how impressed he was by his performance against Kakuzu. He instructed Pain to capture Naruto for the Nine Tails sealed within him, but warned him not to underestimate Naruto. He departed, remarking that his, Madara's plans, would soon be complete. Tobi continued to keep tabs on Sasuke as he moved into confrontation with Itachi. Fated battle between brothers. When a group of Konoha ninja were about to interfere with Sasuke and Itachi's fight, Tobi intercepted them, keeping them busy until Zetsu reported Sasuke's victory. Because the Konoha ninja heard Zetsu's report, Tobi quickly teleported to Sasuke's location and escaped with his unconscious body. He treated Sasuke's injuries and waited for him to wake up. When he does, Toby introduced himself as Madara Uchiha and exposed his right Sharingan to prove his identity. This triggered an Amaterasu in Sasuke's left eye against Toby. Toby retreated into the darkness while he put out the flames, returning with his mask back on to muse about how far Itachi would go to protect Sasuke. Sasuke was confused, so Toby divulged the Uchiha's history, though he denied his involvement in the nine-tailed demon fox's attack, and the truth surrounding Itachi's role in the Uchiha clan downfall. Sasuke was overwhelmed with grief for having killed Itachi and resolved to avenge him by destroying Konoha. Naruto Jinraiden, the day the wolf howled. In the novel, Toby buries Itachi's body after taking his eyes. He speaks to Sasuke when he wakes up about the so-called justice of the ninja villages, which is built upon an endless cycle of deaths and loss. He contrasts this with hatred, which he claims to be both focused and finite. When Sasuke's eyes start to bother him, Toby offers him Itachi's eye drops and the receipt for the prescription, which sends Sasuke to the Howling Wolf village. Six Tails Unleashed. In the anime, Toby and the other members of Akatsuki gather to seal the Six Tails. Pain's assault. Because they had a shared interest in destroying Konoha, Toby convinced Sasuke and his team Taka to start working with Akatsuki. Before Akatsuki could offer its assistance, Toby assigned Taka the task of capturing the Eight Tails, one of the two remaining tailed beasts. After Taka left, Toby met with Kisame, consoling him over Itachi's death and revealing his face, allowing Kisame to recognize him as the former Mizukage. Toby also met with Zetsu, and they discussed how much easier their plans would be now that Itachi was dead. Zetsu questioned Akatsuki's recent actions, specifically the loss of 5 members, but Toby insisted that it had all been worth it to gain Sasuke's loyalty. Taka later delivered the Eight Tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee to Toby. The remaining members of Akatsuki began the sealing process, but quickly found out that it was only one of the Eight Tails tentacles disguised as Bee. Toby was irritated that Sasuke failed in his mission, but still sealed the tentacle into the demonic statue of the Outer Path so that it would have at least a fragment of the beast's chakra. 5 Kage Summit. Zetsu reports to Toby the outcome of Pain's mission to capture Naruto. Although Konoha has been destroyed, Naruto was not captured. What's more, Pain, or Nagato, gave his life to perform the Samsara of Heavenly Life technique and revive the villagers he killed. Upset by yet more setbacks, Toby assigns Kisame to capture Bee and tracks down Sasuke and Taka on their way to attack Konoha. He informs them that they are too late since the village is already gone, and adds that they still owe Akatsuki for their failure to catch the Eight Tails. While they're speaking, Zetsu reports that Danzo is to be the next Hokage and that he will be attending the Kage Summit in the Land of Iron. Toby sees a compromise. Danzo was a conspirator in the Uchiha's assassination, and if Sasuke were to kill him during the Kage Summit, that would serve Toby's purposes. Sasuke agrees to the arrangement and is escorted to the Land of Iron by Zetsu. Once he and Taka get there, however, Toby instructs Zetsu to reveal their presence to the assembled Kage. While Taka is placed against the Kage's combined might, Toby meets with Naruto, who is also in the Land of Iron, in an attempt to understand Nagato's change of heart. Kakashi and Yamato confront him, but Toby doesn't want to fight, instead telling them about the Sage of Six Paths, the truth of the Uchiha clan, and Sasuke's descent into darkness. They doubt the validity of what he tells them, but he is unconcerned and leaves shortly afterwards. As Sasuke is about to be killed by the Kage, Toby rescues him. He sends Sasuke away, sending Karin with him so she can heal his injuries. Though disappointed that Sasuke was not more of a match for the Kage, Toby is nevertheless happy by the development of Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan. Telling the Kage and those in attendance that he is Madara Uchiha, he explains the Eye of the Moon plan to them and concludes by asking for their support by giving him Killer Bee and Naruto. The Kage refuse, so Toby declares war on all of them before disappearing. Toby intercepts Danzo when he's fleeing the summit. He's attacked by Danzo's bodyguards, Fu Yamanaka and Todore Aburame, but other than the loss of an arm to Torone's Rinkaichu, Toby easily disposes of both. With Danzo alone, Toby teleports Sasuke and Karin to their location to fulfill his promise of letting Sasuke kill him. Toby observes the battle and is glad when Sasuke is finally able to fully develop Susanoo. When Sasuke emerges victorious, Toby approaches the dying Danzo to take Shisui's eye, which was implanted in Danzo's right eye socket. Danzo activates the reverse force symbol sealing in an attempt to take Toby and Sasuke with him, but they are able to get out of range in time. Toby collects Danzo's body and suggests that Sasuke take some time to rest. At his lab, Toby discovers that Danzo destroyed Shisui's Sharingan before he died. Cursing him, Toby gets a new arm and makes plans to retrieve Nagato's Rinnegan to prepare for war. Before he can leave, Zetsu informs him of Sasuke's fight with Naruto. Toby interrupts them and advises Sasuke to save the fight for another time in light of Sasuke's deteriorating vision. Once back at the mountain's graveyard, Toby restores Sasuke's vision at his request by implanting him with Itachi's eyes, and then leaves him to recuperate. Road to Ninja, Naruto the movie. Toby appears before Naruto and Sakura and traps them in the limited Tsukiyomi, sending them to an alternate reality with the intention of eventually allowing him to extract the Nine Tails. From their original world, Toby collaborates with a masked man known as Menma. He sends Menma after Naruto, but that world's Akatsuki arrives to aid Naruto and Sakura. This creates Toby's opening. He takes control of Menma's body, who is the Naruto of that world, while Naruto is tired from the fight and begins extracting the Nine Tails. Sakura interrupts him, giving Naruto a chance to retaliate and defeat him. Toby emerges from Menma's body and tries to attack once more, but is stopped by that world's Minato and Kushina. Giving it up as a lost cause, Toby ends the limited Tsukiyomi, letting Naruto and Sakura return to the original world. Fourth Shinobi World War. Countdown. As he's leaving the mountain's graveyard, Toby is confronted by Kabuto Yakushi, who requests to ally with Toby in the upcoming war. Toby declines and attacks him, prompting Kabuto to use the summoning Impure World Reincarnation to revive 5 deceased members of Akatsuki: Sasori, Deidara, Itachi, Nagato, and Kakuzu. Kabuto offers them as pawns to be used on the battlefield, and all he asks in return is to be given Sasuke. Toby contemplates refusal, to which Kabuto responds by reviving Madara. Horrified that Kabuto knows that Madara is actually dead, Toby is forced to accept an alliance, but sets the condition that Sasuke will not be turned over until after the war. Kabuto agrees and sends the summons away. Toby escorts Kabuto to his hideout so he can assess his battle strength and reformulate his plans for war. Toby later infiltrates Amagakure to acquire Nagato's corpse. He's immediately confronted by Konan. Toby tries to buy back her cooperation by informing her of his involvement in Yahiko's creation of Akatsuki, but she doesn't believe him. Konan turns into paper and engulfs Toby, hoping to use the exploding tags mingled with her paper in order to sacrifice herself and kill him. Toby realizes what she's up to in time and warps the explosion away, saving both of their lives, but loses his right arm. Konan tries another attack, detonating a constant series of 600 billion paper explosives. The explosions go on for a period of 10 minutes, longer than Toby can remain intangible for. He therefore uses his left Sharingan to perform Izanagi to survive the attack. Unaware of this and thinking he's dead, Konan lowers her guard, allowing Toby to sneak up behind her and stab her. He asks what it is about Naruto that could have caused her and Nagato to betray him in the way that they have, to which she responds that Naruto is the light that will build a bridge to peace. Toby avows himself as the darkness that crushes Naruto's light and places her under a genjutsu to extract the location of Nagato's body before he kills her. When Toby finds Nagato's body, he sees Nagato smiling at him, which he interprets as continued betrayal. He shuts Nagato's eyes before teleporting the body away. After replacing his left Sharingan with one of Nagato's Rinnegan, Toby receives a report from Kisame about the location of Naruto and Killer Bee. Kabuto offers to capture them for him as a sign of good faith. He ultimately fails, but does manage to bring back Yamato, who he can use to strengthen the White Zetsu army. Toby finds this a fair alternative. Fourth Shinobi World War. Confrontation. When preparations are complete, the thousands of Zetsu and many of Kabuto's reincarnated ninja mobilize, initiating the Fourth Shinobi World War. In the confusion, Kabuto also captures Anko Mitarashi outside the mountain's graveyard. Toby suspects that Kabuto led her to the hideout and believes Kabuto plans to have Akatsuki and the allied shinobi forces destroy each other. Although confident that this will not happen, Toby orders Kabuto to kill Anko. Kabuto refuses on the grounds that he can use Anko to make the Impure World Reincarnation stronger, something that is in Toby's best interests. Toby remains uneasy about Kabuto and has White Zetsu plant spores on him so his actions can be monitored. He later learns that Naruto and Bee have left their confinement and joined the battle. With things moving towards their conclusion, Toby goes to the location of the First Division where he summons the demonic statue of the Outer Path. While the statue decimates the division, Toby seeks out the Beni Hisago and the Kohaku no Johei, which contain the reincarnated Gold and Silver brothers. Darui and Shikamaru Nara conclude that he plans to make use of the brothers' Nine Tails chakra as part of his plans to try and stop him. He compliments them on guessing his intentions, and as the statue attack them while he escapes with the 2 items. As dawn breaks on the second day of the war, Toby stands behind his own 6 paths of pain, comprised from the reincarnated Jinchuriki. Fourth Shinobi World War. Climax. Toby leads the 6 paths towards Killer Bee and Naruto. Naruto headbutts Toby as soon as they meet, to which Toby only responds by pointing out that Naruto couldn't even scratch his mask. Naruto notices his new Rinnegan and remarks that it's the same as the other Madara's. Realizing that Kabuto has revealed his secret, Toby quietly curses Kabuto before shedding his Madara identity, embracing the role of nobody. Toby has his 6 paths engage Naruto and a transformed Killer Bee. B levels the area in an attempt to force Toby away while he seals the 6th Jinchuriki, which Toby counters by having the Jinchuriki enter version 2 forms. As the Jinchuriki overwhelm Naruto and B, Toby takes advantage of Naruto's distraction and nearly captures him, only to be parried by Might Guy and Kakashi Hatake. In the confusion of their appearance, the Five Tails breaks free of Toby's control, but he promptly subdues it. He then forces the Four Tails and Six Tails to fully transform in an attempt to stack the odds in his favor. The Four Tails is able to swallow Naruto, leading Toby to believe that Naruto is out of commission. Instead, the Four Tails manages to communicate with Naruto how Toby's controlling it. Naruto escapes from its mouth, locates the chakra receiver embedded in the Four Tails' flesh, and removes it. With the Four Tails free, Toby quickly summons the demonic statue of the Outer Path to reseal the beast. He has the remaining Jinchuriki transform into their respective tailed beasts to try and finally bring the situation under his control. Despite the overwhelming power of the 5-tailed beasts, Naruto, working in full cooperation with the 9 Tails, is able to neutralize all of them and release them from Toby's influence. Like the 4 Tails, Toby seals them back into the statue. Despite the setbacks, Toby remains confident that he will emerge victorious. Sometime later, the revived bodies of the Jinchuriki, having been kept restrained by a transformed Killer Bee, are released from the effects of the Impure World reincarnation, causing them to once again become lifeless corpses. As this could only mean that Kabuto has failed, Toby realizes that time is running out. With no other option, he tosses the Benihisago and the Kohaku no Johei into the demonic statue's mouth, which, in addition to the 8 Tails tentacle from the fake Killer Bee, completes the set of the 9-tailed beasts, initiating the 10 Tails revival. While the demonic statue undergoes its regeneration into the 10 Tails, Toby protects it from Naruto, Bee, Guy, and Kakashi. Despite their combined efforts, they're unable to get past Toby or damage him. Toby is even able to turn some of their own attacks against them, such as the lightning-infused kunai that Kakashi is forced to send away with Kamui. After this latter exchange, however, Kakashi notices that Toby's mask took damage. Unable to attribute the damage to any of their attacks, Kakashi tests a theory. Naruto attacks Toby with a Rasengan, and when it appears to pass through Toby, Kakashi targets the Rasengan with Kamui. Toby's arm is then damaged. Kakashi concludes that his Kamui and Toby's ability share the same dimension. That attacks sent to the dimension at the same moment that Toby has transported his body parts there for safety will do damage to Toby. Now that they have a strategy to use against Toby, Naruto, Bee, Guy, and Kakashi begin to coordinate their efforts. One of Naruto's shadow clones attacks Toby, but the attack appears to fail and the clone disappears. The real Naruto attacks immediately afterwards with a tailed beast ball, which Toby avoids by retreating to the other dimension. There, he finds Naruto's shadow clone waiting for him, having been sent there by Kakashi's Kamui. Before he has a chance to react, he's hit in the face with a Rasengan, shattering his mask. His face revealed, Kakashi and Guy recognize him as their former teammate Obito Uchiha. Kakashi is devastated to learn that Obito is not only alive, but now one of the world's worst criminals. Before he can find out how Obito survived, the reincarnated Madara Uchiha arrives at Obito's side. Seeing the demonic statue, Madara chides Obito for reviving the 10 Tails prematurely and reviving him in the state that he is. Obito informs him of Nagato's betrayal before returning to him his gunbai and directing him to Naruto and Bee. While Madara goes after them, Obito fights Kakashi. He ignores Kakashi's pleas for an explanation and nearly kills him, only stopped by Naruto. When Kakashi gets over his initial shock and starts to fight seriously, Obito sends him away with Kamui. This is part of Kakashi's plan, as through a combination of efforts, Naruto and Killer Bee nearly destroy the demonic statue, but the attack comes a moment too late, and from the smoke emerges the 10 Tails. Obito and Madara take position atop the 10 Tails head and attach themselves to it so they can control its actions. Because they no longer need Naruto or Bee, they direct the 10 Tails to kill him. The combined allied shinobi forces arrive in time to stop the attack. The allies collaborate against the 10 Tails and succeed in restraining it, but the 10 Tails matures to its next form and releases itself. Though this was countered easily enough, they have the 10 Tails destroy the allied shinobi forces headquarters to prevent further collaborations. Madara remarks that the battle is more difficult than it should be and blames Obito's deviations from the original plan, namely not bringing Madara back to life in the correct way. Obito replies that he never trusted Madara would keep his word, and he now follows his own version of the Eye of the Moon plan. Obito uses the beast as a medium to fire off several wooden projectiles into the assembled alliance. Many die, including Neji Hyuga, which Obito uses to try and encourage the alliance, and specifically Naruto, of the futility of their resistance. Naruto and the allies refuse to be broken by their shared loss and instead unite for yet another attack, successfully separating the 10 Tails from Madara and Obito's control. Madara and Obito join forces against the shinobi army, but now have an unrestrained 10 Tails to contend with. The Ten Tails prepares to use Tenpenchi, which Kakashi attempts to stop with Kamui. Obito intercepts him and together they relocate to the other dimension. With nobody to interrupt them, Kakashi again tries to speak with him, and Obito finally starts to answer some of his questions, explicitly stating Kakashi should feel no guilt for killing Rin so many years ago. Kakashi tries to explain, but Obito saves him the trouble, saying that he already knows the circumstances surrounding Rin's death and that it was Rin's idea to die, which is what led him to despair at the world that forced Rin to kill herself. Kakashi persists that what Obito is doing is wrong, but Obito continues to rebuff him. In an ensuing fight, he directs the outcome to have Kakashi stab him through the heart with a lightning-infused kunai in order to get rid of the forbidden individual curse tag Madara placed on him years ago. Obito gives Kakashi a non-fatal stab in return, which causes him to fall to the ground and allows Obito to return to the real world. Badly injured, Obito teleports to the top of the Ten Tails. Madara senses his return and his weakened state and exerts his control over Obito to try and force him to perform the Samsara of Heavenly Life technique to bring him back to life. Before the technique can be completed, the allies try to eliminate Obito, including a reincarnated Minato who is able to teleport to Obito's location using the same Flying Thunder God seal he branded Obito with years earlier. Minato and Obito only recognize each other after Obito has been cut down. Madara admits defeat, but not because Obito is dead. Obito, already beyond Madara's influence, was sealing the Ten Tails into his body, a process he completed in time. Now the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, Obito begins attacking the other reincarnated Hokage, using his new abilities to overpower them and all others with ease. Attacks do not affect him, and his truth-seeking balls overcome every defense that is placed against him. The allies' only advantage is Obito's lack of control. The Ten Tails' power physically distorts his body, and some inner struggle deprives him of any discretion or precision in his actions. Deep within his mind, Obito fights to rein in the Ten Tails and keep it from tearing him apart. By focusing on a picture of his old team, he is able to subjugate the Ten Tails' power. Birth of the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. He hones the Ten Tails, composes himself, and begins a methodical attack against the allied shinobi, nullifying every jutsu they use against him. In a blind gamble, Gamakichi uses Starch Syrup Gun against Obito, which is the first attack to not be completely nullified. Naruto realizes that despite all of Obito's new powers, he remains vulnerable to Senjutsu. With the moon nearing the optimal position to perform the infinite Tsukiyomi, Obito begins making final preparations. He traps the alliance in a barrier and creates an enormous tree with 4 flowers, each flower charging a tailed beast ball. The balls are fired at the shinobi forces, but Naruto and Minato teleport everyone to safety. After repelling the two's Senjutsu-fueled counterattack, Obito summons the tree form of the Ten Tails and has it absorb the chakra of nearby ninja, taking their chakra and killing many. Obito uses this rising death toll to shatter the determination of the Shinobi Alliance, offering them mercy if they stop fighting and allow themselves to enter the infinite dream. Naruto is nearly shattered, but is galvanized by Sasuke's refusal to surrender, and he rallies the Shinobi forces. Naruto and Sasuke join forces, combining their own Senjutsu abilities against him to increasingly greater effect. Obito, who is fighting both the Shinobi Alliance by controlling the tree and Naruto and Sasuke personally, becomes frustrated with their continued attacks and Naruto's denial of his way of thinking. Obito forms the Sword of Nunoboko, intending to use it to strike them all down for good. Naruto and Sasuke realize that they will only have a small window to defeat Obito, so they enlist the aid of their classmates from Konoha to help them with a combined attack against him. They successfully overwhelm Obito as he begins to lose control of the Ten Tails chakra, giving the Alliance a chance to pull it from his body. During this time, Naruto enters Obito's consciousness through their linked chakras and begins to reason with him. Though he tries to resist the pull of both Naruto's words and the Shinobi Alliance's grip on his chakra, the chakra of the nine-tailed beasts is removed from him and he falls to the ground, his power and transformation gone, and his battle lost. As Obito lies helpless, Kakashi finally returns from Kamui's dimension with the resolve to kill him. Minato stops him and explains it's no longer necessary, as Obito's defeat by Naruto has finally shown him that he was wrong all this time, and that deep down he was living a lie fighting for the infinite Tsukiyomi. As the Alliance begins shifting their attention to Madara, who is fighting elsewhere, Obito decides to use the Samsara of Heavenly Life technique to revive everyone he's killed as atonement for his sins. As he's performing the technique, Black Zetsu emerges from underground and forces him to change targets, reviving Madara instead. Black Zetsu tries to take the Rinnegan Obito is using, but realizes that it will not be able to get away from Kakashi and Minato. Obito explains to them what he's been forced to do and pleads with them to destroy his Rinnegan at any cost. While he struggles against Black Zetsu's control, the demonic statue is summoned from Obito's body, sapping what little energy he has left and enabling Black Zetsu to overpower him. Obito later manages to reassert control of his body just before Black Zetsu can transfer the Rinnegan and the Nine Tails Yin half taken from Minato to Madara, who has already regained the Rinnegan Obito hid away and became the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Madara tries to convince Obito of the error he is making and lets his guard down, while he gives Obito another chance. Obito opts instead to stab Madara and in the process steals fragments of the One Tail and Eight Tails chakra, embracing his identity as Obito Uchiha for the first time in years. Because Obito has all the pieces that Madara still needs for his plans, his escape becomes paramount. Kakashi uses Kamui on him while he also uses it on himself, allowing him to flee to the other dimension before Madara can stop him. In the other dimension, Obito finds Sakura and Naruto, the former performing emergency life support on the latter because of the removal of the Nine Tails Yang half from his body. Although she is skeptical of Obito, she allows him to seal the Nine Tails Yin half and the other tailed beast chakra he has into Naruto, since it's the only chance of saving him. When Naruto recovers, Obito sends him back to the real world to fight. He then asks Sakura to destroy his Rinnegan. Before she can go through with it, Madara arrives, having stolen Kakashi's Sharingan so that he could confront Obito. Obito teleports Sakura away so that Madara couldn't kill her. Because Obito is out of options, Madara gets one last thing off his chest. He orchestrated Rin's death all those years ago in order to gain Obito's cooperation. With that said, Black Zetsu takes control of Obito's body. Kaguya Otsutsuki strikes. Obito awakens later to find circumstances greatly changed. The Rinnegan is gone, replaced by his original left eye. Black Zetsu is completely gone from his body, the infinite Tsukiyomi has been cast, and the world is trapped in a dream. Madara is gone, replaced by Kaguya Otsutsuki. Only Naruto and Sasuke, with the help of Kakashi and Sakura, remain to resist her. They're now all stuck in a network of Kaguya's dimensions, lost within which somewhere is Sasuke. After taking all this in, Obito expresses his belief that he can use his two Mangekyou Sharingan to locate Sasuke. Naruto creates an opportunity for Obito and Sakura to infiltrate Kaguya's core dimension and then draws her away while they work. Through a process of trial and error, the stress this causes to his body being healed by Sakura, Obito searches through Kaguya's dimensions with Kamui and eventually finds Sasuke. Obito returns Sasuke and Sakura to the dimension where Naruto and Kakashi are. He watches as Naruto and Sasuke fight Kaguya, their combined powers the only ones capable of stopping her. Aware of this, Kaguya relocates them to a dimension with powerful gravity and pins Naruto and Sasuke down while she attacks with all-killing ash bones. Obito and Kakashi, empowered by a shared memory of their past friendship, place themselves in front of Naruto and Sasuke as shields. Because his odyssey began by saving Kakashi from death by a boulder, Obito decides he must now end things by saving Kakashi's life again. He uses his left eye to teleport the attack aimed at Kakashi away, allowing the attack directed at him to connect. Obito's body begins to crumble and there's nothing that anyone can do to save him. He warns Kakashi that he will not be around to save him a third time and places his faith for a better world in Naruto before dying with a smile. Obito finds himself in the limbo between life and the afterlife. There, he sees Rin waiting for him. Obito apologizes for taking so long to join her and also for many of the things that he did while she waited for him. Rin assures him that it's okay because he tried his very hardest and that she was always watching him. Though he is eager to start spending time with her, he's worried that Kakashi might do something stupid like die and ruin things between them again. Therefore, he uses Kamui and has his spirit return to the living plane and inhabits Kakashi, imbuing him temporarily with the power of his Mangekyou Sharingan. Kakashi uses them and the resulting Susanoo to provide backup for Naruto and Sasuke, giving them the opening they need to defeat Kaguya. With all scores settled, Obito apologizes to Kakashi one final time for everything, and the two part fully reconciled, with Obito now free to join Rin in the afterlife. Legacy. Following Obito's apparent death, Kakashi was left greatly changed by the experience. The Sharingan that Obito gave to Kakashi helped him gain fame throughout the ninja world and earned him the nickname of Copy Ninja Kakashi for the over 1,000 jutsu he copied with the Sharingan. Obito's philosophy about the importance of teammates also guided Kakashi during his future missions, and once Kakashi was old enough to begin training his own students, became the single most important lesson he wanted them to learn and demonstrate. On a more personal level, Obito's death remained ever in his thoughts, and he would often spend his time visiting the memorial stone where Obito's name is engraved to reflect on events. The nine-tailed demon fox's attack that Obito was responsible for would end up directing the course of Naruto and Sasuke's lives. Naruto's parents died that night, leaving him an orphan. Like Obito before him, Naruto came to dream of gaining Konoha's acknowledgement by becoming Hokage and pursued that goal against all odds. The suspicion that an Uchiha was behind the attack would eventually lead to the clan's downfall. Sasuke, the only Uchiha to be spared from death, dedicated his life to taking vengeance against those behind the death of his family at any cost. Despite the dark path he took in his life, Obito's actions eventually led the 5 great shinobi countries to align with one another to form the Allied Shinobi Forces, and later the Shinobi Union, ultimately fulfilling his promise of ending all wars and bringing peace to the world terrain.
Next up is Kakashi Hatake. Son of the White Fang, this dude was incredibly skilled basically since birth and kept proving it to the world. Later on, he acquired a special eye that earned him the title Copy Ninja, and he would have an immense impact on the events leading up to and during the Fourth Shinobi World War.
Kakashi Hatake is a shinobi of Konohagakure's Hatake clan. Famed as Kakashi of the Sharingan, he is one of Konoha's most talented ninja, regularly looked to for advice and leadership despite his personal dislike of responsibility. To his students on Team 7, Kakashi teaches the importance of teamwork, a lesson he received along with the Sharingan from his childhood friend Obito Uchiha. After the Fourth Shinobi World War, Kakashi becomes Konoha's 6th Hokage. Early life. Because his mother died when he was very young, Kakashi was raised during his early years by his father Sakumo. Sakumo was famed throughout the shinobi world, having saved Konoha on at least one occasion. Kakashi, in particular, revered his father. During one of Sakumo's missions, after Kakashi was enrolled in Konoha's Ninja Academy, Sakumo made the decision to save the lives of his teammates rather than complete the assignment. The mission's failure had disastrous consequences for the Land of Fire, causing many in Konoha, including the teammates he saved, to vilify him for abandoning his duties. Disgraced, Sakumo committed suicide. Seeing what his father went through and determined not to make the same mistakes, Kakashi decided that following the shinobi rules must always take priority. In the academy, Kakashi earned top grades, earning him recognition as a prodigy and the best of his generation. Ultimately, he became very popular amongst his peers. With his talent soon being recognized, at age 5, Kakashi graduated from the academy at the top of his class in a single year. Upon becoming a genin, he and his classmates Rin, Nohara, and Obito were teamed together under the leadership of Minato Namikaze. In the anime, Minato gave the team a bell test at its formation, assigning the 3 to take the 2 bells he kept on his person. Minato often held back less against the prodigious Kakashi than with Rin and Obito, so they couldn't obtain any bells without teamwork. However, Kakashi realized this, only using Obito and Rin as means to an end to obtain the bells. Nonetheless, Minato passed them because they accomplished the goal of the test by working as a team. Minato did encourage them to improve their teamwork afterwards, a message that Obito and Rin took to heart but fell upon deaf ears with Kakashi. Team Minato would go on many missions during its career, but Kakashi's devotion to the rules often made him difficult to work with. Obito, already jealous of Kakashi's natural talent and popularity, was frequently at odds with him and this behavior. At age 6, Konoha officials allowed Kakashi to compete in the Chunin exams with his team, which he passed by defeating Might Guy and became a Chunin. Third Shinobi World War. Konoha eventually became embroiled in the Third Shinobi World War. As part of the war effort, Team Minato was assigned to destroy the Kanabi Bridge in Kusagakure in order to cut off Iwagakure's supply line. Minato was needed on the front lines at the time, leaving Kakashi, recently promoted to Jonin at age 12, in charge. Before embarking on the mission, Minato and Rin gave him presents to celebrate his promotion. Obito forgot to get him anything. Shortly after entering Kusa, they encountered an Iwa scout, Mahiru. Kakashi tried to eliminate him with his new jutsu, Chidori, but the attack speed left him vulnerable to counterattack, forcing Minato to step in, save Kakashi, and kill Mahiru himself. Before leaving them, Minato advised Kakashi to not use the Chidori again. Kakashi, Rin, and Obito continued further into Kusa. They were eventually found by Mahiru's teammates, Kako and Taiseki, who kidnapped Rin in order to find out about what their mission was. Obito immediately suggested that they rescue her, but Kakashi elected to abandon Rin, believing that it was more important to finish the mission before concerning themselves with her safety. Obito refused to go along with this and went off to save Rin by himself. Before he left, he told Kakashi that Sakumo had been a hero and that although it was bad to abandon one's mission, it was worse to abandon one's teammates. Kakashi began carrying out the mission alone, but ultimately decided that Obito was right and went to join him. He arrived in time to save Obito from Taiseki with his white light chakra saber, which he inherited from his father. Taiseki turned invisible and tried launching a sneak attack on Obito. Kakashi protected him, but his left eye was badly damaged in the process. In that moment, Obito awakened his Sharingan and used it to kill Taiseki. They then entered the cave where Rin was being held, drove off Kako, and released Rin from the genjutsu he had placed her under. Kako retaliated by forcing a cave-in, and Kakashi, due to his damaged eye, was struck in his blind spot and had difficulty avoiding the fallen rocks. Before he could be crushed by a large boulder, Obito pushed him out of the way, becoming trapped himself. Unable to get free and knowing his injuries were too serious to survive, Obito decided to make his last act, giving Kakashi the present he forgot to give him earlier, his Sharingan, to replace the eye Kakashi lost. After Rin transplanted Obito's Sharingan into him, Kakashi confronted Kako. His white light chakra saber was destroyed during the ensuing fight, but he succeeded in killing him with Chidori due to the Sharingan's heightened vision. Kakashi was finally able to handle its speed. He went back to where Obito and Rin were, but Iwa reinforcements soon arrived and started constricting the rubble. Obito asked Kakashi to take Rin away and keep her safe, which he did, leaving Obito behind. As the Iwa Nin started surrounding them, Kakashi attacked them for as long as he could, holding them off until Minato eventually tracked them down and finished off the rest. Minato assisted them with destroying the Kanabi Bridge, and then returned with them to Konoha to mourn Obito's death. Despite many from the Uchiha clan being against Kakashi wielding a Sharingan as he had no blood ties to them, Fugaku Uchiha, the Uchiha head, chose to honor Obito's dying actions and let Kakashi keep his gift. During a later mission, Rin was kidnapped by Kirigakure. Kakashi was eventually able to rescue her and started taking her back to Konoha. Along the way, Rin revealed that Kiri had sealed the Three Tails into her body with the intention to, once she inevitably lost control of it, have it unleashed on Konoha and destroy the village from within. In order to prevent this from happening, Rin begged Kakashi to kill her, but he refused, unwilling to break his promise to Obito to protect her and hoping to find some other solution. When Kiri Nin caught up with them and made false efforts to retrieve her, Kakashi fought them off with his renamed Chidori, the Lightning Cutter. During one of these attacks, Rin jumped in front of Kakashi's attack, dying by his hand so Konoha would be safe. The trauma of this caused his Sharingan to evolve into a Mangekyo Sharingan shortly before Kakashi passed out. He was later found by Konoha reinforcements, but none could explain the slaughter of all the Kiri forces. Anbu career. Because he'd lost two teammates in such a short time span, his role in Rin's death, and his failure to honor Obito's last request by protecting her, Kakashi began dropping into a depression. In the anime, many believe he killed Rin on purpose to prevent her from leaking information, earning him the nickname Friend Killer Kakashi. Many, especially those in Anbu, believed he would kill a comrade without hesitation if it was for the sake of completing the mission. He would also spend his days avoiding friends and former classmates, and at night he would be haunted by dreams of himself killing Rin again. Minato, the new Hokage, tried to help Kakashi emerge from the darkness he'd fallen into after Obito and Rin's deaths by assigning him to the Anbu. Kakashi did well in the Anbu, eventually becoming a captain and the leader of Team Ro. However, his successes were owed to his cold behavior and his ruthlessness in combat, signs that he was still upset by Rin's death. Minato therefore tried a different tactic, assigning Kakashi to protect his wife, Kushina Uzumaki, during her pregnancy. Kakashi carried out his duties faithfully, monitoring Kushina from the shadows whenever she left her home. During his time off, he would visit Rin's grave and Obito's engraving to tell him his regrets and how life was going without them. During the Nine-Tailed Demon Fox's attack, Kakashi and many of Konoha's other young ninja were prevented from helping defend the village, instead being confined within a barrier to keep them safe. Minato eventually saved the village from the Nine-Tails, but at the cost of his and Kushina's lives. After which, Danzo Shimura approached a grieving young Kakashi Hatake, noting that it was Hiruzen Sarutobi's orders for the children, even high-ranking ninja like Kakashi, to not help battle the Nine-Tails, ultimately preventing Kakashi from possibly saving his sensei and his wife. Convincing an emotional Kakashi that the third was not the best for the future of the village, Kakashi agreed to join Danzo's Root division and spy on the Hokage for him. During a mission, Kakashi encountered another Root member codenamed Kinoe, who was able to use Wood Release. Knowing that Wood Release was unique to the first Hokage, Kakashi broke into the Hokage residence to see what he could learn about this anomaly. The third caught him, but freely gave him the information he wanted. Konoha had tried to recreate the Wood Release powers in the past, but abandoned the project for killing too many test subjects. The third then mused that the Nine-Tails might have been defeated and Minato saved had the research been successful. From this meeting with the third, it became clear to Kakashi that the third was not the ineffectual, passionless leader Danzo had made him out to be. Moreover, Danzo had not used Kinoe to try and stop the Nine-Tails attack. Realizing he had picked the wrong side, Kakashi told the third about Danzo's plans to assassinate him and the following day personally lured out the assassins, of whom Kinoe was with. Kakashi easily defeated him but chose to spare his life in the belief that he would become a valuable ally in the future. Kakashi attempted to resign from the Anbu afterwards for working against the Hokage, but the third insisted his service was invaluable and made Kakashi his right-hand man. From investigating a series of disappearances, Kakashi provided a lead, and it was discovered that Orochimaru was behind the Wood Release research that produced Kinoe. In the anime, Kakashi attacked Orochimaru when the third Hokage failed to apprehend him, but he was paralyzed by Orochimaru's killing intent and Orochimaru escaped. Kakashi followed him once he regained his composure, but he was captured by the Iburi clan, who were loyal to Orochimaru. Kinoe, their ally, convinced them to let him interrogate Kakashi. Once alone, he confided that Danzo was making his own plans against Orochimaru, and with help from Yukimi, helped Kakashi get free. Kakashi later planned to use Yukimi to capture Orochimaru since she was of great importance to him. Later, Kakashi explained that Yukimi's blood could temporarily bestow Orochimaru with the Iburi clan's smoke transformation, allowing him to slip across the border. Overhearing that, Yukimi slipped away and returned to the cave. Orochimaru ultimately killed most of the Iburi clan before escaping yet again, but Kakashi, recognizing that Kinoe's relationship with Yukimi is much like his relationship with Rin was, helped keep her safe. Kakashi decided to leave and not report anything about the Iburi or Root's involvement. Kakashi continued to investigate Orochimaru over the following years, eventually locating one of his secret labs 3 years after the latter's defection. While there, he was attacked by Kinoe, who Danzo had sent to take his Sharingan. Kakashi tried to reason with him by stating that friendship should take higher priority than the mission. When Kinoe accused Kakashi of violating that creed by killing Rin, Kakashi, enraged, overpowered him in order to bring him before the third Hokage. Before they could leave, one of Orochimaru's snake experiments escaped its test tube and attacked the duo. As Kinoe was taken captive, Kakashi managed to slay the creature. While saving Kinoe, the creature's corpse began emitting a poisonous vapor which quickly infected Kakashi. Kinoe got Kakashi out safely and, having accepted Kakashi's words, gave Kakashi an antidote and chose to abandon his mission whilst leaving Kakashi a message about it. When Kakashi woke up, he knew Danzo would punish Kinoe for insubordination and asked the third for help. With the third's permission, Kakashi forced his way into Root headquarters and stopped Danzo from applying a cursed seal to Kinoe. As Root forces started to surround them, the third showed up to personally authorize Kakashi's actions, and further negotiated Kinoe's release from Root. Kakashi added Kinoe, now with the new codename Tenzo, to Team Ro. 2 years later, Itachi Uchiha was added to Team Ro. Kakashi and Itachi were at one point assigned to observe a meeting between Konoha and the Land of Woods. When the Land of Woods Pranja group tried to betray the Konoha forces, Kakashi and Itachi moved in and defeated them. Although Kakashi was impressed by Itachi's abilities, he warned him against his merciless approach and encouraged him on the importance of friends. Sometime later, Itachi asked Kakashi if dead friends' requests should be honored, which Kakashi said they should. Itachi was eventually promoted out of Team Ro and replaced by Yuga Uzuki. Shortly afterwards, Team Ro was sent to the Uchiha clan's compound with orders to pacify a brewing rebellion, only to find the entire clan dead. When news emerged that Itachi was responsible and that he had killed his best friend, Shisui Uchiha, in pursuit of power, Kakashi lamented his failure to have a better influence on Itachi. Because of what happened with Itachi, the third Hokage felt that individuals with kind hearts did not belong in the Anbu. He therefore thanked Kakashi for his years of service and relieved him of his duty, returning him to the standard forces. Over the years, he was placed in charge of several teams of academy graduates, but none ever demonstrated the teamwork he considered to be so important. In the anime, he started worrying that his own methods were too harsh, but from seeing how his former underlings that he had previously failed prospered due to his teaching, his faith was reaffirmed. Prologue, Land of Waves. Kakashi is assigned as the leader of Team 7, comprised of Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, and Sakura Haruno. The third Hokage explains that he is selected for the team in order to keep an eye on Naruto, the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, and in the anime to help Sasuke cope with life after the Uchiha clan downfall. During his first meeting with Team 7, Kakashi is unimpressed by them, finding them all to be too self-interested. He nevertheless gives them a bell test, as he has for all the previous teams he's been assigned, and tells them to take one of the 2 bells on his person. Naruto launches a first attack before the test officially begins. Kakashi stops him easily, but is nevertheless amused. Kakashi reads Icha Icha Paradise during the test, convinced that he won't need his full attention or both of his hands. Naruto and his shadow clones fail to take a bell, and Sakura, who focuses on looking for Sasuke, is defeated by one of Kakashi's genjutsu. Kakashi then goes and finds Sasuke, expecting the same outcome as Naruto and Sakura, but finds Sasuke was waiting for him. Kakashi is forced to go on the defense, and when Sasuke uses the Great Fireball technique, he must close his copy of Icha Icha, but still manages to defeat Sasuke. Kakashi gathers them together afterwards and tells them they've failed, explaining that had they worked together rather than individually, they might have succeeded in acquiring a bell. They convince him to give them another chance after lunch, but Kakashi demands that Naruto not be fed. He secretly watches them as they eat and sees Sasuke and Sakura give Naruto food against his instructions, needing Naruto in top form if they're going to get a bell. Kakashi feigns anger when he approaches them, but tells them that they passed the test for placing the team's well-being above the mission parameters. Team 7 completes a number of D-rank missions, which Naruto believes they're overqualified for. He complains to the third Hokage about this and is able to secure a C-rank mission, escorting Tazuna to the Land of Waves. Shortly after leaving Konoha, Kakashi notices that they're being pursued by the Demon Brothers. He pretends to be killed by one of the Demon Brothers' attacks so he can observe them, stepping in to neutralize them once Team 7 can't hold them off anymore. After restraining them, Kakashi confronts Tazuna on why the Demon Brothers were trying to kill him. Tazuna confesses that assassins have been hired to kill him so he can't build a bridge that will free the Land of Waves from the tyranny of Gato. Although this is an A-rank assignment that Team 7, being only Genin, are unqualified for, they decide to help Tazuna anyway because Tazuna confessed his country is too poor to afford an A-rank assignment. When they arrive in the Land of Waves, they are met by Zabuza Momochi, a former Kirinin. Recognizing how formidable Zabuza is, Kakashi uncovers his Sharingan and engages him, leaving his students in charge of protecting Tazuna. Kakashi initially does well against Zabuza, defeating Zabuza's water clones with his own. When Zabuza succeeds in trapping him in a water prison, Kakashi instructs Team 7 to leave him behind and escape with Tazuna. Naruto ignores him and with the help of Sasuke is able to release him. Kakashi thanks them and resumes his fight with Zabuza, copying his ninjutsu and using them against him. Just as he is about to finish off Zabuza, Zabuza is seemingly killed by a young hunter nin and his body is taken away. Team 7 continues on to Tazuna's home, but Kakashi must be carried, having exhausted himself due to overuse of the Sharingan. While recuperating, Kakashi starts to find Zabuza's death suspicious and worries that he might still be alive. In case this is true, he shows Team 7 the tree climbing practice in order to improve their chakra control, which will be useful if Zabuza does indeed return. After a week of rest, Kakashi has recovered and all of Team 7 has mastered the exercise. Naruto is tired from the training and is allowed to keep sleeping as they resume their bodyguarding of Tazuna. When they arrive at the bridge Tazuna's working on, they find Zabuza and Haku, the hunter nin from before, waiting for them. Haku traps Sasuke in his demonic mirroring ice crystals, which Zabuza blocks Kakashi from helping him escape from. Once Naruto arrives to lend Sasuke assistance, Kakashi engages Zabuza in combat. Having learned from his previous encounters, Zabuza coats the area in a thick mist so Kakashi can't use his Sharingan. Because of this, Kakashi sticks close to Tazuna, knowing Zabuza will come for him eventually. Zabuza does indeed attack, and Kakashi is badly injured by Zabuza's Kubikiri Bocho while defending Tazuna. While reeling from his wound, Kakashi senses Naruto using Ninetales chakra. Fearing that the seal containing the beast is weakening, Kakashi decides to finish the battle quickly. He summons his Ninken and has them track down his blood, which is still on Zabuza's Kubikiri Bocho. Once they locate him, they pin him down while Kakashi attacks with his lightning cutter. Just before he hits Zabuza, Haku steps in front of him and takes the attack instead. As his last act, Haku grabs Kakashi so he can't get away, allowing Zabuza, freed from the Ninken, to try and slice through him in order to get Kakashi. Kakashi pulls away, sets down Haku's body, and, angered by what's happened, proceeds to debilitate both of Zabuza's arms. Gato then arrives to kill them all, Zabuza included, with a horde of mercenaries. Zabuza kills Gato first, and Kakashi scares off the horde with his multiple shadow clone technique. Zabuza, dying from his injuries, asks Kakashi to place him next to Haku. Kakashi complies, and after he passes, buries them both. Their mission complete, Team 7 returns to Konoha, traveling by way of the great Naruto bridge that Tazuna finished building. Chunin exams. Team 7 resumes its series of uninteresting missions, but Kakashi is nevertheless pleased by their development. Despite their only recent graduation from the academy, he recommends that they enter the Chunin exams. He neglects to tell them that they must enter as a team, not wanting any of them, especially Sakura, to feel pressured to participate. He is therefore glad when they all independently decide to take the exams and wishes them luck. Several days after the exams start, Kakashi arrives to watch Team 7 in the preliminary fights. There, he is informed that Sasuke was attacked by Orochimaru during the exams and branded with a cursed seal of heaven. Kakashi warns Sasuke that he will be disqualified if he uses the cursed seal during his match. Sasuke avoids doing so, and Kakashi takes him away afterwards, applying the evil sealing method to prevent the cursed seal's use. After Sasuke passes out from the procedure, Orochimaru confronts Kakashi, explaining his plans to acquire Sasuke's Sharingan for himself. Kakashi readies his lightning cutter to defend Sasuke, but Orochimaru decides to leave, confident Sasuke will come to him willingly someday. Kakashi afterwards realizes he would have been killed had they fought. Kakashi takes Sasuke to the hospital to rest, places him under the guard of Anbu, and returns to watch the remaining preliminary matches, having promised Sasuke that he'd tell him all about the other combatants' abilities. After the preliminaries end, Kakashi returns to Sasuke to find all the Anbu dead, killed by Kabuto Yakushi. He tries to capture Kabuto in order to learn more about Orochimaru's plans for Sasuke, but Kabuto escapes. Kakashi is afterwards tracked down by Naruto, who asks Kakashi to help him train for the exam's final matches in a month. Having already decided to train Sasuke, Kakashi refers Naruto to Ebisu instead. In order to give Sasuke an alternative to the Cursed Seal's power, Kakashi spends a month teaching him the Chidori. Training runs long, and they end up arriving late for Sasuke's match against Gaara of Tsunagakure. When Naruto tries to warn him about Gaara, Kakashi instructs him just to watch Sasuke's performance and is amused by how quickly Naruto's concern for Sasuke becomes jealousy of his abilities. Konoha Crush. The Chunin exams are interrupted by an invasion of Konoha, and most of those watching the finals are rendered unconscious by a genjutsu. Kakashi is among those who dispel it, and he starts fending off invading Otogakure forces. When he notices Sasuke going off on his own to fight Gaara, Kakashi locates Sakura and sends her, Naruto, and Shikamaru Nara after him to provide assistance. He summons Pakun to help them follow Sasuke. The fighting rages on until Kakashi and his fellow defenders eliminate all invaders in the area except for Kabuto and Baki, who opt to flee rather than continue fighting. Kakashi and the others then converge on the site where the third Hokage fought Orochimaru, but discover that he's died in battle. Kakashi attends the third's funeral a few days later. He arrives late, having visited the memorial stone beforehand to reflect on those he's lost. Search for Tsunade. Shortly after the funeral, Kakashi notices cloaked individuals traveling around Konoha. Suspicious, he follows them, but keeps up appearances that he is only meeting Sasuke for lunch. While waiting for Sasuke, he strikes up a conversation with Asuma Sarutobi and Kurenai Yuhi, quietly alerting them to the men in cloaks. When Sasuke arrives and the cloaked men leave, Kakashi sends Asuma and Kurenai after them. However, Kakashi starts to become concerned, so he cancels lunch with Sasuke, not explaining the real reason, and joins Asuma and Kurenai. He arrives in time to save them from Kisame Hoshigaki and Itachi Uchiha, respectively. Itachi advises Kisame to keep his distance from Kakashi, stating that his fight with Kakashi would take too long. He also states that his own fight with Kakashi wouldn't take any time at all. He immediately attacks, which Kakashi only barely blocks with a water formation wall. He then gets Kurenai away from Itachi's clone Great Explosion, and when he looks back at Itachi, catches a glimpse of his Mangekyo Sharingan. He orders Asuma and Kurenai to shut their eyes while he is attacked with Tsukiyomi, subjecting him to 3 days of torture in a matter of seconds. He is able to remain conscious to Kisame's surprise, and using information earlier provided to him by Jiraiya, guesses their purpose for being in Konoha. They are members of the Akatsuki after the Nine Tails within Naruto. Itachi orders Kisame to capture Kakashi to see what else he knows and to kill Asuma and Kurenai. Kisame is stopped by Might Guy and they retreat, at which point Kakashi passes out. Guy takes Kakashi back to his home and puts him to bed, where he remains comatose until Tsunade, the new Hokage, comes to Konoha and heals the damage to his mind. Sasuke Recovery Mission. Kakashi is not done recovering when he is given a mission assignment, a consequence of Konoha's lack of manpower following the failed invasion. Before leaving, he stops by the hospital where Sasuke has been staying after his own encounter with Itachi and finds Sasuke in the middle of combat with Naruto. As Sasuke is about to clash his Chidori with Naruto's Rasengan, Kakashi catches them both and flings them apart. Kakashi starts questioning Sasuke about his apparent intentions to kill Naruto, but Sasuke leaves rather than be lectured. Kakashi also notices Jiraiya nearby and, assuming Naruto learned the Rasengan from him, asks if that was a good idea. Jiraiya asks the same about teaching Sasuke the Chidori. Kakashi asks Jiraiya to speak with Naruto while he speaks with Sasuke. Before he goes, he assures Sakura that he'll set things right. Kakashi locates Sasuke and ties him to a tree in order to force him to listen to what he has to say. He starts by trying to discourage Sasuke from avenging the Uchiha clan, insisting that even if he's successful, it won't bring back those who are already dead. Sasuke retorts that Kakashi doesn't understand what he's going through and offers to kill the people most precious to Kakashi, only for Kakashi to reply that those very people are already dead. Sasuke is surprised and puts up less resistance, so Kakashi tells him that taking revenge for those that he's lost is not worth also losing those he still has, namely Naruto and Sakura. To that end, he encourages Sasuke to start using Chidori for its intended purpose, protecting friends rather than attacking them. He unties Sasuke and leaves for his mission, intending for what he said to sink in. When he returns, Tsunade informs him that Sasuke has defected to Orochimaru and that Naruto and a team of genin were sent after him. Upset with himself for not spending more time diffusing Sasuke's angst, Kakashi goes after him, fearful that he and Naruto may kill each other. He summons his Ninken to help him track Sasuke and Naruto, eventually finding the latter unconscious at the Valley of the End. Because it's raining, he can't find Sasuke's trail, and besides, Naruto needs medical attention. He takes him back to Konoha and releases him into the care of the medic corps. With Sasuke gone to Orochimaru, Naruto decides to start training with Jiraiya, and Sakura trains with Tsunade. Having no students to lead anymore, Kakashi resumes his prior mission schedule. Mizuki Tracking Mission. In the anime, Kakashi returns from mission in time to help round up escapees from the Konoha Strict Correctional Facility. Cursed Warrior Extermination Mission. In the anime, Kakashi is sent to the Land of Birds as backup for Naruto, Tenten, and Neji Hyuga as they investigate the Cursed Warrior. He takes command of the team and eventually defeats Nagare and Hokushin with relative ease. Sunagakure Support Mission. In the anime, Kakashi is sent to spy on the Takumi village in order to investigate rumors of an uprising. There, he finds the entire village abandoned. He is later part of the reinforcements sent to Sunagakure to help deal with the four Celestial Symbols men, only to discover that Naruto's team already successfully completed the mission. In Naruto's footsteps, the Friends' Paths. In the anime, about 2 years after Naruto leaves Konoha to train with Jiraiya, another Chunin exam is held. Kakashi is sent to Amegakure to invite its ninja to participate, a mere pretext for him to investigate rumors surrounding the village. He is stopped at the village's entrance, but is able to arrange a meeting with Hanzo, who is actually Konin in disguise, and delivers the invitation. Although he appears to leave Ame afterwards, Kakashi sneaks back in to see what he can find out. It immediately becomes apparent to him that although Ame's ninja don't know the identity of the intruder, they are aware that someone has infiltrated the village. Kakashi decides to go back to Konoha rather than risk causing an incident. Kazekage Rescue Mission. Kakashi is the first person to greet Naruto when he returns from his 2.5 years of training with Jiraiya. Naruto gives him a copy of Icha Icha Tactics as a present, which Kakashi wastes no time starting to read. As Naruto goes off to see Sakura, Jiraiya warns Kakashi that Akatsuki will be making a move in the near future. After Naruto and Sakura have had a chance to catch up, Kakashi reforms Team 7 and gives them another bell test. Unlike last time, taking the bells from him is the real objective. Kakashi also decides to take the test seriously by uncovering his Sharingan and closing his copy of Icha Icha Tactics. As with last time, Naruto launches a first attack before the test officially begins, but this time it nearly succeeds. Kakashi is impressed by this and other signs of their improvement, but by nightfall they still haven't taken a bell. Tired of this, Naruto tries spoiling the ending of Icha Icha Tactics, forcing Kakashi to cover his ears so as to not hear it and shuts his eyes so as to not read Naruto's lips. This allows Naruto and Sakura to each take a bell. While Team 7 tries without success to find a mission to go on that Naruto won't complain about, word reaches Konoha that Akatsuki has kidnapped Gaara, the 5th Kazekage, and the Jinchuriki of the One Tail. Team 7 is sent to Sunagakure to lend assistance in rescuing Gaara. When they arrive in Suna, Kakashi is attacked by Chiyo, who mistook him for his father, but her brother Ebizo cleared up the confusion before the attack could connect, to Kakashi's great relief at the close call. Team 7 gathers what intel they can on Gaara's kidnappers and leave to go after them. Chiyo volunteers to escort them since they aren't familiar with the country around Suna. While en route to an Akatsuki lair, they are confronted by Itachi Uchiha. While they fight him, Kakashi notices that something is off about Itachi, noticeably his lack of use of the Mangekyo Sharingan. The reason for this is discovered after Naruto seemingly kills him with a big ball Rasengan. They were only fighting a doppelganger. Team 7 arrives at the Akatsuki lair shortly after Team Guy does, who are sent as backup by Tsunade. After Team Guy takes down the barrier over the entrance, Team 7 moves in and finds Gaara's body with his kidnappers, Deidara and Sasori. Deidara takes Gaara's body and flies off, which Naruto and Kakashi go after, leaving Sasori to Sakura and Chiyo. Naruto makes repeated failed attempts to rescue Gaara, prompting Kakashi to encourage patience while he prepares a new ability. Once he's ready, Kakashi uses Kamui on Deidara, but his aim is off and he succeeds only in removing one of Deidara's arms. This creates an opening for Naruto to take Gaara back, which Deidara responds to by creating a suicide bombing clone to cover his escape. Kakashi uses Kamui again to warp the explosion away. After they regroup with Chiyo and Sakura, Chiyo gives her life to revive Gaara. Team 7 and Guy attend her funeral in Sunagakure before returning home. Kakashi is unable to walk due to overusing his Mangekyo Sharingan, forcing Might Guy to carry him. Guy's choice of carrying Kakashi by piggyback deeply disturbs their students. Tenchi Bridge Reconnaissance Mission. During her fight with Sasori, Sakura learned of an opportunity to possibly meet with Sasuke in a few days' time. Kakashi must remain in bed while he recovers and therefore cannot go. In his place, Team 7 is led by an Anbu codenamed Yamato, who Kakashi once knew as Tenzo. Before Team 7 sets out, Yamato, Tsunade, and Jiraiya meet with Kakashi to discuss Naruto's deteriorating control of the Nine Tails' power. Akatsuki Suppression Mission. Although Team 7 was able to meet Sasuke, he was too strong for them to capture and bring back to Konoha. Once Kakashi's done recuperating, he calls them before him and is introduced to Sai, who is effectively Sasuke's replacement on the team. They speak only briefly, but both approve of each other. Kakashi believes the best way to match Sasuke would be for Naruto to create a new jutsu. Before he can elaborate further, they are interrupted by the arrival of Asuma, Sarutobi, and the rest of Team 10. When their students leave to have dinner, Asuma lingers behind to discuss something with Kakashi, only to change his mind when Kurenai Yuhi comes looking for him. To help Naruto create a new jutsu, Kakashi first establishes what his nature is: wind. With that settled, Kakashi trains Naruto on how to learn to use the wind nature. Ordinarily, such training would take months or years, but Naruto, by training alongside hundreds of shadow clones, can do the same training in a mere fraction of the time. With Kakashi's instructions and training grounds created by Yamato, Naruto quickly masters how to use the wind nature. The next step is more difficult for him, combining that nature with the Rasengan. Because Kakashi and Minato Namikaze both failed to combine their natures with the Rasengan, Kakashi can't offer Naruto any tips and can only watch as he tries to develop something. When they receive news that Asuma died in battle with members of Akatsuki, they take a break to attend Asuma's funeral. Because he can be of no further assistance to Naruto, Kakashi leaves Yamato in charge of watching over him. Kakashi, meanwhile, volunteers to help Team 10 avenge Asuma. Shikamaru Nara, having previously come up with a plan, modifies it to take Kakashi's presence into consideration. Once they locate the Akatsuki members, Hidan and Kakazu, Kakashi hides until Kakazu is driven to use his Earth Spear, at which point Kakashi pierces him through the heart with his lightning cutter. Kakazu, who has more than one heart, fends Kakashi off and uses the elemental masks of his Earth Grudge Sphere to put Team 10 on the defensive. Needing to separate Hidan and Kakazu if they're to have any chance of victory, Shikamaru takes a vial of Kakazu's blood that Kakashi secretly collected and leads Hidan away. Shikamaru is able to trick Hidan into using the blood to curse Kakazu, destroying the second of his hearts in time to stop him from stealing Kakashi's. Angered by the loss of 2 hearts, Kakazu prepares to kill Kakashi and Team 10. His attack is blocked by the combined efforts of Naruto and Yamato, who arrive with Sakura and Sai to lend assistance. Kakashi summons Pakun to lead Sakura and Sai to Shikamaru in case he needs help, while everyone else prepares to attack Kakazu. Naruto, having finished his jutsu, volunteers to face Kakazu alone. His new wind-release Rasen Shuriken is temperamental, however, forcing Kakashi and Yamato to rescue him when it fails on its first use. It succeeds on the second time, destroying 2 of Kakazu's hearts and putting the last one on the brink of failure. Kakashi is deeply impressed by the Rasen Shuriken and tells Kakazu that the previous generation being surpassed by the next was perfectly natural. Kakashi then finished him off with a lightning cutter. Three Tails appearance. In the anime, Kakashi leads Team 8 on a mission to investigate one of Orochimaru's recently discovered bases. During their investigation, they're attacked by Guren, one of Orochimaru's subordinates, who traps them in her Jade Crystal Labyrinth technique. Team 7 eventually arrives to lend assistance and helps them escape. But while going after Guren, they come across the Three Tails. Kakashi requests additional assistance from Konoha, and once it arrives, they attempt to seal the Three Tails. Guren and her team interrupt them and the Three Tails gets away, but Guren's team is defeated. They are then recalled to Konoha with Anbu sent to seal the Three Tails in their place. Itachi Pursuit Mission. News reaches Konoha that Sasuke has killed Orochimaru. Realizing that this is a good opportunity to try once again to reunite with Sasuke, Kakashi combines Team 7 and 8 into an 8-man squad with their mission to either find Sasuke or his assumed target, Itachi. They split up and look for leads on either Uchiha, with Kakashi providing one or more of his Ninken to those without any particular tracking ability. None find anything until witnessing CO. They converge at its epicenter and can detect Sasuke's trail. Fated battle between brothers. As they near Sasuke's location, they're intercepted by Akatsuki member Tobi. They make repeated attempts to kill or capture him, but every attack passes through him without sign of damage. Zetsu eventually appears and reports to Tobi that Itachi has died in battle with Sasuke. No longer needing to distract the 8-man squad, Tobi disappears. Before he goes, Kakashi notices that he has a Sharingan. Kakashi scouts the area and notices Itachi's Amaterasu in the distance. They rush there, hoping to reach Sasuke before Tobi does, but they are too late and cannot rediscover his trail. Six Tails Unleashed. In the anime, Katsuyu meets with them as they return to Konoha to give them a new mission. helping the Tsuchigumo clan protect its forbidden technique. Kakashi sends Yamato with Team 7 to complete the mission while he returns to the village with Team 8. Pain's assault. Back in Konoha, Kakashi is informed that Jiraiya has died while investigating the Akatsuki leader, Pain. He is present when the news is shared with Naruto, who was too distraught to be of assistance and needed some time alone. Before he died, Jiraiya sent a number of things to Konoha that would help them against Pain, including an encrypted message. Shikamaru is able to properly console and get Naruto to help him decode it, who realizes that the key to its decryption must be Icha tactics. Kakashi, having the only copy, is asked to read specific passages aloud, which makes him extremely uncomfortable. Nevertheless, the message is deciphered. Pain attacks Konoha soon afterwards. While some of the 6 paths of Pain draw attention to themselves, others avoid conflict and try to learn the whereabouts of Naruto, who had gone to Mount Myoboku to train. Kakashi guesses this tactic and goes searching for one of the latter group. In doing so, he finds the Diva Path, and by confronting it, he is able to save Iruka Umino. Kakashi tries to corner the Diva Path so he can destroy it with his lightning cutter, but it repels him with Shinra Tensei. Pain, recognizing that Kakashi is a dangerous opponent, sends the Asura Path to help the Diva Path. Kakashi struggles against both due to the shared vision of their Rinnegan, but their clashing jutsu at least attracts reinforcements' attentions. Choza and Choji Akamichi cripple the Asura Path while they arrive. From careful observation of the Diva Path's abilities, Kakashi notices a brief cooldown period between its jutsu. To take advantage of this, Kakashi plants chains under it and has Choza and Choji attack it from opposite sides. When they're deflected by Shinra Tensei, they grab the chains and restrain him, giving Kakashi an opportunity to attack with his lightning cutter. Before he can land the blow, the Asura Path uses itself as a shield, giving the Diva Path time to counter. It defeats all of Kakashi's reinforcements and binds Kakashi in the rubble. Anticipating that Kakashi will interfere if allowed to live, the Diva Path propels a nail at his head to kill him and leaves. Kakashi, however, only pretends to be dead, warping away the nail at the last moment with Kamui. When Choji wakes up, Kakashi sends him to Tsunade to tell her everything they've learned about the Diva Path abilities. The still functioning Asura Path fires a missile at Choji in an attempt to stop him, forcing Kakashi to use Kamui again to warp away the missile. This depletes his chakra reserves and causes his death. After dying, Kakashi finds his father, Sakumo, waiting for him. He entreats Kakashi to tell him about his life, with which Kakashi complies. He concludes his story by saying that he understands the choices Sakumo made when he was alive, and he is proud to be his son. Just then, a light envelops Kakashi, a sign of his revival. Before Kakashi returns to the living plains, Sakumo thanks him for putting him at peace at long last, allowing him to continue to the afterlife. Kakashi wakes up, surprising those nearby. He is informed of what happened while he was dead, such as that Pain destroyed the village and that Naruto, upon returning, defeated Pain. As Naruto returns to Konoha, Kakashi goes to meet him and carries him back, where his victory is celebrated by all the villagers. Past arc, the locus of Konoha. In the anime, a traveling musician visits Konoha as it starts rebuilding. Seeing the musician reminds Kakashi of Team 7's encounter with Hanare of the Jomei village. 5 Kage Summit. Naruto reflects on Sasuke with Kakashi and Sakura. While he does so, word reaches them that Danzo Shimura has become the new Hokage and that Danzo's first degree has been to allow Sasuke's disposal as a missing nin, something Tsunade had never permitted. Naruto insists on trying to reason with Danzo, which Kakashi warns him will not work. When this indeed fails, Naruto decides to talk with the Fourth Hokage instead, who has made it his goal to personally kill Sasuke. Despite the travel limitations in place due to the approaching 5 Kage summit, Kakashi and Yamato agree to accompany him. Kakashi neutralizes the Anbu assigned to keep an eye on Naruto, and Yamato plants his transmission wood on Team Samui in order to follow them to the Raikage. When they find the Raikage in the Land of Iron, Kakashi, the only one amongst them that the Raikage recognizes, asks that Naruto be allowed to speak with him. The Raikage permits it, but even with his and Yamato's support, he refuses Naruto's request to forgive Sasuke's recent work with Akatsuki and leaves them. They stay at an inn nearby while deciding what to do, where Naruto is confronted by Tobi. Having expected him, Kakashi and Yamato attack and restrain him, though he points out that he can escape whenever he wants. Rather than do that, he tells him about Sasuke's motivations, to take vengeance on Konoha for forcing Itachi to kill the Uchiha clan. They doubt what he's said regarding the Uchiha clan downfall, but Tobi is unconcerned, leaving once he's finished saying to Naruto what he wanted to. Afterwards, Kakashi encourages that the three of them keep what Tobi said between them until they knew more and if what Tobi said was true. Naruto decides that the only course of action left is to speak with Sasuke himself. His attempt to locate Sasuke is interrupted by the arrival of Sai and Sakura, the latter of whom tells Naruto she loves him. Kakashi doubts that this is the real reason for coming all the way to the Land of Iron, which one of Sai's ink clones confirms after Sakura and her entourage leave. The rest of the Konoha 11 have decided that it's their responsibility as Sasuke's former friends to kill him before he sparks a war, a burden Sakura has taken for herself. Before they can go after her, they are met by Gaara and his bodyguards, who tell them about Sasuke's attack on the summit and Tobi's declaration of the Fourth Shinobi World War. Gaara also shares the five Kage's request that Kakashi represent Konoha going forward. Owing to Danzo's behavior during the Kage summit, Naruto is overwhelmed by all the developments going on and passes out. Kakashi leaves Naruto with Yamato and has Sai's ink clone guide him to Sakura so he can stop her. The clone dissolves along the way, which it explains to be because Sakura knocked out the original Sai. Kakashi catches up with her in time to stop Sasuke from killing her with Chidori. Kakashi tells Sakura that she doesn't need to take responsibility for Sasuke, since he, as Sasuke's former teacher, is much more to blame for the team's growing rift and current dire situation. He asks Sasuke one more time to let go of his thirst for vengeance, but Sasuke laughs in his face, having been too corrupted by Tobi to be reasoned with any longer. As he prepares for battle, Kakashi remarks that he finally understands what the third Hokage went through with Orochimaru. Sasuke uses his Susanoo to fire an arrow at Kakashi, which he warps away with Kamui. Sasuke is enraged by this use of an Uchiha ability and threatens to make Kakashi suffer. When he does so, Sakura approaches from behind to kill him, but ultimately cannot, and Kakashi, tired from using Kamui, can't reach her in time to save her from Sasuke's retaliation. Sakura is saved by Naruto. Kakashi tells Naruto to take Sakura away. Naruto thinks that Kakashi is going to kill Sasuke. Naruto instead restrains Kakashi and fights Sasuke himself. From the clash of their Chidori and Rasengan, as well as the following conversation, Naruto and Sasuke decide to temporarily suspend hostilities until later when they, and only they, will face each other in battle. Kakashi agrees to these terms, but insists on being allowed to eliminate Tobi with Kamui when he comes to fetch Sasuke. Tobi stops him, telling him it won't work, and leaves with Sasuke. Fourth Shinobi World War Countdown. When they get back to Konoha, Kakashi meets with the Konoha Council and tells them all what had happened, including Danzo's death at Sasuke's hand. Because Konoha now needs another Hokage, Kakashi reluctantly agrees to be the appointment. He is brought before the Fire Daimyo, but before anything can be made official, they receive news that Tsunade has woken up from her coma, therefore rendering the proceedings unnecessary. He meets with Tsunade later and thanks her for waking up before he got stuck with any real responsibility. Power. In the anime, Kakashi is part of a force sent to Hacho village to help the rest of Team 7. Kakashi confronts Kabuto Yakashi, who gets away by distracting him with reincarnated ninja. Later, Kakashi meets with the village leader, Dysonasu, who Kakashi recognizes as an old partner of Orochimaru. He trails Dysonasu to a meeting with Kabuto, who is trying to resurrect the Ama no Hoko. A fight breaks out when Kabuto notices them, and at the conclusion of which Naruto defeats the nine-tailed Naruto clone. They are afterwards able to deactivate the Ama no Hoko, though Kabuto himself escapes once again. Paradise Life on a Boat. In the anime, as Konoha starts preparing for the looming war, Kiba Inuzuka asks Kakashi to train him. Kakashi provides his Ninken to Kiba in his place, believing that they'll be more useful to him. Later, Kakashi receives an apparent distress signal from Might Guy, who is escorting Naruto to the island Turtle. Kakashi rushes off to lend assistance, only to be told on arrival that the SOS was sent accidentally when Guy was struggling with seasickness. Unneeded, Kakashi returns to the village. Fourth Shinobi World War Confrontation. Kakashi is appointed as commander of the Allied Shinobi Force's 3rd Division. In the anime, he requests that Guy be his second in command. The 3rd Division is mobilized ahead of the other divisions in order to be on hand for any eventuality. While seeking out Nakatsuki Force, they notice and head towards one of the surprise attack division's distress flares. The 3rd Division arrives in time to save them from the reincarnated Gari, Pakura, Haku, and Zabuza Momochi. Haku and Zabuza recognize Kakashi and Sakura, who is also in the 3rd Division, and ask how Naruto is doing. Kabuto, their summoner, ends their conversation short by suppressing their personalities, so Haku and Zabuza use their last moments to beg Kakashi to defeat them. Zabuza uses the hiding and miss technique to hide his and the others' movements, putting the 3rd Division on the defensive. Kakashi is able to analyze their attack strategy and formulate a response, but the other reincarnated members of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist appear on the battlefield before Kakashi has a chance to put his plan into action. Despite mounting casualties, Kakashi sticks to his original plan. He sneaks up on Zabuza and attacks him with Lightning Cutter, intending to dispel the heavy mist. Like the last time they fought, Haku shields the attack and Zabuza cuts at Kakashi through Haku with his Kubikiri Bocho. Kakashi avoids injury and attacks with another lightning cutter, this time hitting Zabuza and also connecting Ensui Nara's shadow to his. With Zabuza immobilized and Haku damaged, both are bound by the sealing team. Kakashi, upset by how Zabuza and Haku were used for Akatsuki's purposes, takes up the Kubikiri Bocho and promises to live up to his reputation as the copier of 1,000 jutsu. With the mist gone, the swordsmen seemingly retreat. Kakashi takes this opportunity to allow his team to rest and recuperate. The next day, in the anime, Kakashi defeats Jinin Akebino, and later teams up with Guy to keep Jinpachi Munashi and Kushimaru Kurirare busy until they are also sealed. By the time he helps Sai seal Fuguki Suikazan, only 3 reincarnated shinobi remain. Part of the White Zetsu army then arrive to fight the 3rd Division, but they are met by one of Naruto's shadow clones, sent to lend assistance with defeating the remnants of Akatsuki's forces. Fourth Shinobi World War Climax. Kakashi and Guy eventually leave the 3rd Division to join the original Naruto and Killer Bee in their fight with Tobi, arriving in time to stop Tobi from capturing Naruto. Seeing that Tobi has 6 reincarnated Jinchuriki, Kakashi theorizes that they each possess one of the 6 paths techniques, just as the 6 paths of pain did. From fighting them, however, none of them use any of these 6 paths techniques, leading Kakashi to believe that Tobi doesn't have the energy for it. Tobi can at least still use their Tailed Beast's powers, so he forces the 4 Tails and 6 Tails to enter Tailed Beast modes. Unable to do anything against such large opponents, Kakashi and Guy leave them to Naruto and Bee. After Naruto is able to free the 4 Tails from Tobi's control, Tobi forces the other Jinchuriki to enter Tailed Beast modes as well. As 5 Tailed Beast balls bear down on them, Kakashi considers trying to use Kamui. It ends up not being necessary, as Naruto, by entering his own Tailed Beast mode, deflects their attacks and subsequently frees them from Tobi. Tobi is forced to recall the Tailed Beasts into the demonic statue of the Outer Path, which he uses against Naruto, Bee, Kakashi, and Guy. Fighting continues on into the night, with neither side emerging victorious. When a light descends on the reincarnated Jinchuriki, a sign that the impure world reincarnation has been cancelled, Tobi takes drastic actions and prematurely initiates the Ten Tails revival. When they realize what Tobi's doing, Kakashi and the others focus on destroying the demonic statue before it can complete its metamorphosis into the Ten Tails. Tobi defends the demonic statue from all their attacks, and as ever, is himself seemingly impervious to damage, with everything passing through him. After an exchange of attacks, of which Kakashi blocks Tobi's with Kamui, Kakashi notices some slight damage to Tobi's mask. Having a theory about this, he has Guy and Naruto help him test it and is ultimately able to confirm. Attacks warped away with Kamui at the same moment that Tobi is impervious will damage Tobi, thereby suggesting a link between their abilities. Kakashi asks where Tobi acquired his Sharingan, to which he replies it was on the same mission to the Kanabi Bridge that Kakashi got his own. Kakashi is troubled by what this might mean, but doesn't overlook the important fact that they now have a way of fighting Tobi. Kakashi secretly uses Kamui on Naruto's shadow clones to send it to Kamui's dimension, which, when Tobi retreats there to escape the real Naruto's attack, attacks Tobi and destroys his mask. When they see his face, Guy and Kakashi recognize Tobi as Obito Uchiha. Kakashi is devastated to discover that the friend whose death he's mourned for over a decade is actually alive. Kakashi asks Obito why he never returned to Konoha, to which Obito replies it's because Kakashi allowed Rin Nohara to die. Obito assures Kakashi that he doesn't blame him for the world's flaws before attacking him with Fire Release Blast Wave Wild Dance. Obito is soon joined by a reincarnated Madara Uchiha, who decides to take Naruto's 9 Tails and Killer Bee's 8 Tails before the 10 Tails is revived. Kakashi, meanwhile, tries to question Obito more, who ignores him and instead uses his own Kamui on Kakashi. Kakashi figures out how to use Kamui to return, prompting Obito to try and kill him. Naruto blocks the attack and vows not to let his teammates die. Naruto's words remind Kakashi of the Obito he used to know, inspiring him to join the offensive again. After the Nine Tails replenishes his chakra, Kakashi lets Obito send him to Kamui's dimension, where he attacks Obito's body parts whenever they transport there to avoid Naruto's attacks. He then uses Kamui to return, only to witness the Ten Tails complete its revival. Obito and Madara attach themselves to the Ten Tails, focusing its destructive power against Kakashi and the others. Just as they're about to be killed, the combined allied shinobi forces arrive to help, deflecting the Ten Tails' tailed beast ball. Sakura heals Kakashi before they join the allies' coordinated effort to restrain the Ten Tails, but it breaks free by transforming. Many die in the Ten Tails' counterattack, but another coordinated assault successfully removes the Ten Tails from Madara and Obito's control. Now free to act on its own, the Ten Tails prepares to use Tenpenchi. Kakashi attempts to stop it with Kamui, but Obito intercepts him and takes him to Kamui's dimension. When they get there, Kakashi lunges at Obito with the lightning cutter, but stops short of actually killing him with it. When Obito accuses him of having a guilty conscience, Kakashi tries to explain the circumstances of Rin's death, but Obito is already aware that she chose to die. That fact alone convinces Obito that the world as is not worth protecting. Accepting that Obito's mind can't be changed, Kakashi attacks in order to protect the world that the Obito he used to know cared about. After a prolonged exchange, Kakashi pierces Obito's heart with a lightning-infused kunai. Obito escapes and Kakashi, similarly badly damaged, collapses. Birth of the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. As Kakashi treats his wounds, he catches brief glimpses of what Obito sees due to their common Sharingan, his fight with Naruto and Sasuke. Kakashi ponders Obito's persistence in trying to convince Naruto that his actions are justified, and concludes that Obito himself is not actually convinced that they are. He returns to the battle just after Obito's defeat, prepared to personally finish him off, but is stopped by a reincarnated Minato Namikaze. Having sensed the same misgivings in Obito that Kakashi did, Minato convinces Kakashi to try yet again to speak with him. Kakashi acknowledges that Rin's death is proof of a flawed system that may not be possible to fix, but he believes that Naruto should be at least given a chance to try since he still has friends to empower him. Obito decides to put the same faith in Naruto that Kakashi has, and in order to make up for all that he's done, prepares to use the Samsara of Heavenly Life technique to revive everyone that has died. Because this will cost Obito his life, Kakashi tries to convince him to find another way to make amends. But Obito replies that he doesn't deserve such an easy solution. As he's performing the technique, however, Obito's body is taken over by Black Zetsu. Kakashi and Minato are confused by what's happened, so Obito explains that he's been forced to revive Madara instead. Black Zetsu then attempts to take Obito's Rinnegan, but the presence of Kakashi and Minato prevents it from safely doing so. It decides instead to fully take control of Obito's body so they can't attack it without damaging Obito too. As they wait, the demonic statue of the Outer Path is summoned by Madara from Obito's body. Kakashi tries to use Kamui on it, but succeeds only in removing its right arm. Obito briefly regains control for long enough to implore Kakashi to destroy his Rinnegan so Madara can't acquire that too. Just as Kakashi and Minato psych themselves up to do so, they are met by Gaara and Sakura, who are working to keep Naruto alive after Madara removed the Nine Tails from his body. Gaara asks Minato to seal his half of the Nine Tails chakra into Naruto in order to save his life. Black Zetsu intercepts the transfer and takes the Nine Tails for itself. Madara, now the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, soon arrives to see what's taking Black Zetsu so long. Black Zetsu attempts to go to him, but Obito reasserts control over his body and forces it to stay. Obito decides that he will help save Naruto. He first steals fragments of Madara's chakra and then instructs Kakashi to send Naruto and Sakura to Kamui's dimension. He plans to go there to join Naruto, but his own Kamui is slow enough for Madara to stop him. Kakashi, by using Kamui on Obito at the same time that he uses it on himself, is able to accelerate the teleportation and allow him to get away. The attack that misses Obito nearly kills Kakashi, but he is saved by Guy. Aware of how few options they have, Guy decides to use the 8 Gates released formation over Kakashi's protests. Because Guy's time is limited, Kakashi, Minato, Gaara, and Rock Lee combine efforts to neutralize as many of Madara's truth-seeking balls as they can. Kakashi, carried by Gaara, warps away a part of a defensive wall Madara erects around himself. In the end, Guy badly injures Madara before he collapses, but fails to defeat him. Madara is stopped from finishing Guy off by Naruto's return, who Obito successfully saved. Naruto and Sasuke team up against Madara, putting him on the defensive and making him desperate for the Rinnegan in Obito's possession. Having no other options, Madara takes Kakashi's Sharingan and, upon implanting it in himself, uses Kamui to go after Obito. Sakura is teleported back shortly afterwards, Obito's attempt to save her. She prepares to treat Kakashi's eye, but Naruto steps in and uses his Six Paths chakra to restore Kakashi's original eye. As they wait for Madara's inevitable return, Kakashi reminds them of their first lesson as Team 7, the importance of teamwork. Madara eventually returns, Black Zetsu using his control over Obito's body to teleport them back. Kakashi watches as his students attack Madara, but aren't able to stop him from casting the Infinite Tsukiyomi. Kaguya Otsutsuki strikes. While the world around them falls to the Infinite Tsukiyomi, Sasuke uses his own Rinnegan to shield Naruto, Sakura, and Kakashi from its effects. When they emerge, they find Madara has bound the world's population with God, nativity of a world of trees, and trapped them all within perpetual dreams. Madara confronts them and insists that he has ended all conflicts, and that only Team 7, as the only remaining opposition, would seek to renew the cycle of death that plagued the world for centuries. As he's talking, Madara is stabbed from behind by Black Zetsu, who transfers to him from Obito's body to convert him into Kaguya Otsutsuki, Black Zetsu's true master. Kaguya, the origin of chakra, now has access to the chakra supplies of everyone trapped in the infinite Tsukiyomi. She wants Team 7's chakra as well, so she transports them to one of Kaguya's dimensions, a sea of lava. Sasuke saves Naruto from falling in the lava. Kakashi grabs Sakura, ties himself to an unconscious Obito with a scroll, and pins Obito to a wall in order to do the same. The heat causes the scroll to burn up, but Naruto sends a shadow clone to catch them. Unable to continue, Kakashi only watches as Naruto and Sasuke fight Kaguya. Sakura and Obito, once he wakes up, lend support, but Kaguya keeps shifting dimensions in her attempt to defeat them. Kaguya eventually moves them into a dimension with powerful gravity, limiting Naruto and Sasuke's movements while she attacks them with all-killing ash bones. Prepared to give his life to lend what little assistance he can, Kakashi stands in front of Sasuke to take the attack while Obito does the same for Naruto. Although they are unified in their willingness to die, Obito decides it's too soon for Kakashi and uses Kamui on the attack bound for him, leaving Obito unable to save himself. Obito's body dissolves, but his spirit returns shortly afterwards and inhabits Kakashi. Obito feels that Kakashi will become the next Hokage and wishes to reward him by letting Kakashi use his 2 Mangekyo Sharingan. With his Mangekyo, Kakashi is able to manifest Susanoo. He first uses it to save Sakura from Kaguya, and then uses Kamui Shuriken to save Naruto and Sasuke. When Kaguya creates an expansive truth-seeking ball to finally kill them all, Kakashi, realizing that this is their last opportunity, forms a plan of attack. Kakashi pierces through her with Kamui Lightning Cutter. Naruto uses Shadow Clones to exhaust some of her countermeasures, and Kakashi uses Kamui on the rest. Sasuke moves closer to her in order to place a seal on her. Sakura punches her when she tries to escape. Kaguya is defeated, the tailed beasts are removed from her bodies, and she is trapped alongside Black Zetsu with 6 Paths, Chibaku Tensei. The Sage of 6 Paths summons them all back from Kaguya's dimensions and congratulates them for their victory. As his spirit leaves Kakashi's body, Obito apologizes for everything he did when he was alive, but Kakashi states that he's glad they rekindled their friendship before the end. The Sage of 6 Paths explains how Naruto and Sasuke can end the infinite Tsukiyomi, but Sasuke has one intention before that: killing the tailed beasts and the 5 Kage. Kakashi is dismayed, assuming Sasuke is still after revenge. Sasuke replies that he only wants to change the world for the better, making hard decisions like this so the world won't get embroiled in another war. Too exhausted to do anything himself, Kakashi stays behind with Sakura while Naruto and Sasuke leave to fight. The Sage of 6 Paths uses his last moments to talk with Kakashi, remarking that the centuries of hate may be on the verge of ending due to the love Naruto displays for everyone. The following day, Kakashi and Sakura locate Naruto and Sasuke at the Valley of the End, where the sage's words have proven true. Naruto has convinced Sasuke to give up his intention. Sakura heals their injuries, and they proceed to end the infinite Tsukiyomi, and in the end, the 4th Shinobi World War. Upon returning to the village, Kakashi attends the mass funeral for the casualties of the war. In the wake of the village recovering from the war, Kakashi succeeds Tsunade and becomes the 6th Hokage, although he is dismayed with the amount of paperwork. Soon after, in the anime, he offers Naruto the chance to become a Jonin at the cost of him spending 2 years studying. Blank period. In the anime, Kakashi and Tsunade stopped by the Konoha military police force from exposing the identities of everyone connected to Root in the aftermath of the group disbanding, in order to avoid suspicion among villagers thinking each other were former members. Kakashi Hiden, Lightning in the Icy Sky. Nearly a year after the war, Kakashi has yet to officially take on the duties of being Hokage, feeling he's unqualified, leaving Tsunade to continue managing Konoha's affairs. Kakashi later leaves for a mission in the Land of Waves. There, Kakashi oversees security for the Tobi Shachimaru's maiden voyage. As the ship prepares to take off, Kakashi spots someone sneaking aboard, discovering it to be Might Guy, who has always wanted to fly. Kakashi finds somewhere out of the way for them to ride out the trip. During the voyage, the Tobi Shachimaru is hijacked by the Ryuha Armament Alliance, who demand that Konoha release their leader, Gario, from the Blood Prison, vowing to kill the hostages and destroy the Tobi Shachimaru if their demands aren't met. Kakashi summons his Ninken to seek out the explosives planted around the ship and confronts the hijackers. Kaio remotely kills 2 hostages with ice, forcing Kakashi to surrender to prevent more from being killed. Guy soon appears to fight the leader of the hijackers, Ryo, keeping him busy so that Kakashi can free himself from his restraints without being noticed. Kakashi is prevented from helping Guy by the appearance of Kaio. Aware that the Armament Alliance was originally motivated by the death of Kaio's innocent son, Kakashi tries to point out that the Armament Alliance's actions now threaten the innocent passengers. Kaio is upset by Kakashi's observation and attacks with ice release, earthen consecutive chains of ice, creating a hole in the ship that starts sucking out Kakashi, Guy, and the passengers. Before he falls from the ship, Kakashi notices Kaio's mask has come off, who he recognizes as the woman he helped before. Kakashi, Guy, and the passengers are saved by Sai, who takes the others to safety, and Kakashi back to the Tobi Shachimaru. When Kakashi returns, Ryo is threatening to allow a sick child to die, believing it's a fair trade for the death of Kaio's son. Kakashi attempts to stop him, but is immediately bound by chains of ice that Kaio planted on him earlier. Kakashi reasons with Kaio and convinces her to let Sai take the child to a doctor. Kakashi is afterwards locked away. While breaking out, he concludes that the hijackers plan to turn the passengers into human bombs. Kakashi confronts Ryo about this, and Kaio, unaware that this was intended, is aghast. Kaio attacks Kakashi and removes the chains of ice so he can fight back, but he stops short of killing her when he realizes that's what she wants out of regret for her actions. The damaged Tobi Shachimaru starts rocking violently, flinging Ryo from the ship, and then rises into the air uncontrollably, threatening to suffocate everyone aboard. Kakashi and Kaio puncture the helium sacs, keeping the ship afloat, and Kaio attempts to control its descent with her ice. When she runs out of moisture with which to make ice, Kakashi leaps from the ship into a storm cloud, using purple electricity to produce rain. He is saved by the third Tsuchikage, who delivers him to the ground. Kakashi watches as the Konoha 11 recapture prisoners escaping during the Armament Alliance's breakout and feels that the generation will someday replace his own. Kakashi feels that he, as Hokage, would like to watch over things until they're ready. Konoha's ninjas search the crashed Tobi Shachimaru, treating the passengers and taking Kaio into custody. Tsunade threatens to have her executed since she is the highest ranking conspirator to survive the failed jailbreak, but Kakashi requests that he be allowed to pass sentence instead, what would be his first act as Hokage. Kaio will stay at the blood prison for the rest of her life, acting as warden by using her chains of ice on the prisoners. Both Tsunade and Kaio agree to these terms. With his status as Hokage and Naruto's testimony, Kakashi pardons Sasuke and releases him from prison. He and Sakura see Sasuke off as he leaves Konoha to wander the world, with Kakashi requesting him not to cause too much trouble. Shikamaru Hiden, a cloud drifting in silent darkness. The shinobi union that emerged after the end of the Fourth Shinobi World War created an unprecedented peace between the ninja villages. 2 years after the end of the war, that peace is threatened by the emergence of the Land of Silence. Kakashi sent Sai and a team of Anbu to the Land of Silence to investigate, but all go missing. The last communique suggests the Land of Silence's leader, Gengo, must be behind it all. In order to protect the Shinobi Union's interests, Gengo must be assassinated, a task Shikamaru Nara volunteers for. Kakashi assigns 2 Anbu, Ro and Soku, to assist Shikamaru on what is otherwise to be a top-secret mission. Naruto becomes concerned when Shikamaru fails to return from his mission and barges into Kakashi's office demanding an explanation. Kakashi attempts to maintain the mission's secrecy, but eventually relents, even allowing other Konoha personnel to go to the Land of Silence. Shikamaru is rescued, and when he returns to Konoha, Kakashi gives him a week off. The last, Naruto the movie. 2 years after the Fourth Shinobi World War, Kakashi attends a 5 Kage summit to discuss the imminent crashing of the moon. Shortly after he returns to Konoha, Hanabi Hyuga is kidnapped by Toneri Otsutsuki. Kakashi sends the Hanabi rescue team to save her. He also gives them a special clock that counts down to the moon's collision, asking that they stop it if Toneri is in any way connected. In the following days, meteors increasingly rain down on the world and the Kage decide that the moon must be destroyed. When Sasuke returns an injured Hisashi Hyuga to Konoha, Hisashi reports that Hanabi, and by extension her rescuers, are on the moon. Kakashi reports this to the other Kage, who decide to delay the moon's destruction in order to give Naruto and the others a chance to save them. Naruto ultimately succeeds, using the Nine Tails to carve a mission-complete message into the moon's surface. Sakura Hiden, thoughts of love riding upon a spring breeze. After separate attacks are made on Homura Mitokado and the Land of Fire's daimyo, Kakashi assigns Sai to intervene. Kakashi believes that Kido Sumiki might be somehow involved, so recommends that Sai focus on him. A few days later, Sakura returns from a visit to Sunagakure with rumors that Sasuke had been plotting against Konoha. Neither he nor Sakura believe it's really Sasuke, so he assigns Sakura and Ino Yamanaka to look into the lookalike. As the rumors start spreading, Kakashi attempts to contact Sasuke to ask if he knows anything, but his inquiries are not answered. Kakashi informs Sakura that the Red Kage is contemplating a Kage summit on the rumors and the possibility of hunting down Sasuke. Sai eventually reports that his investigation is apparently the same as Sakura's, so Kakashi combines them into the Ino Saku Sai. Konoha Hiden, the perfect day for a wedding. Kakashi is invited to Naruto's marriage to Hinata Hyuga. He plans to go, but worries that Naruto and Hinata's friends might not be able to attend due to their mission assignments. He therefore gives everyone an assignment to bring a gift to the wedding, thereby ensuring that they will all be available. On the day of the wedding, Kakashi greets foreign guests such as Killer Bee and the 5th Kazekage. Sasuke Shinden, Book of Sunrise. Kakashi informs Naruto, Sakura, and Sai that more than 100 Kumo and Kiri shinobi have gone missing, and learns from Sakura that a few Konoha shinobi are missing as well. Sai informs Kakashi that he had been in contact with Sasuke, whom Kakashi had previously asked to lead the investigation into the disappearances due to that only his ocular powers can cancel genjutsu, and Kumo Gakure and Kiri Gakure had agreed to cooperate in the investigation. Kakashi surmises that a genjutsu user captured the missing shinobi and is using genjutsu on them to attack the hidden villages. The village is then attacked by intruders, and Kakashi orders his former students to join with Shikamaru, Choji, and Ino in order to help stop the intruders, whom he later learns are some of the missing shinobi. Once the shinobi are defeated and captured, Kakashi sends a message of the incident to Sasuke, who is traveling to the Land of Lightning and stops at a village in the Land of Hot Water. Sasuke, in turn, sends a letter about his suspicions about the Dark Thunder group being involved. Kakashi has Yamato meet with Sasuke to exchange intel on the situation. Kakashi receives a message from Sasuke that he captured the true culprits, Chino and Nawaki in Yugakure. After Sasuke drops him off at another village, Kakashi arrives to meet with the two, but explains he received a good word from Sasuke about them. Rather than putting them in prison, he is offering them a chance to atone by working for Kumagakure and Kirigakure, which they accept. New Era. On the day of Naruto's Hokage inauguration, he fails to show up, having been knocked out earlier. With no time left to wait, Kakashi has Konohamaru Sarutobi impersonate Naruto so that the festivities can proceed as planned. Retired from active duty, Kakashi continued to assist in village matters and advise his successor. Academy Entrance Arc. In the anime, when learning about the mysterious attacks in the village, Kakashi begins investigating the incident and learns that it involves a root project. Upon reporting his findings to Naruto at the Hokage office, the two discuss the investigation with Shikamaru. Realizing the culprit planned to unleash Nue on the village now that it was nearing completion, Kakashi went in search of the rogue student. Arriving at Senju Park, Kakashi immediately severed the creature's tails, resulting in the spontaneous emergence of dozens of smaller tails, which it used to steal chakra from Sai's men. After saving them, Kakashi organized the team to hold off the creature. As Naruto arrives, Kakashi stops him from fighting, explaining that the creature's intention was to gather enough chakra to produce a powerful explosion to destroy the village. As the shinobi attempt to subdue the beast, it teleports away, much to Kakashi's surprise. Kakashi deduced that while this creature was a summoning, it uniquely existed normally in a separate dimension, leaving others unable to follow it. Konoha Shinden, Steam Ninja Scrolls. On the day of the Kage Summit in Konoha, Kakashi leaves for the Land of Hot Water with Guy and Mirai Sarutobi. Later, the group arrived in the Land of Hot Water. There they found annual festival/competition where a town was split between two beliefs on its origins, some believing that there is a cat spirit and others believed it to be a dog spirit. Mirai stopped the chaos by producing a fire release in unison with the genjutsu to form a cat-dog spirit, which told the townspeople to stop the feuding. When Guy believed the genjutsu to be a demon and attacked it, he accidentally knocked down the main wall that split the town, thereby convincing the villagers that it was a sign for them to truly come together. Afterwards, Kakashi applauded Mirai on combining the signature skills of her parents. During a stop at an inn, they met a young orphan named Tatsumi, who, despite having no money, was determined to visit all the hot springs in the land in memory of her late mother. At Mirai's request, it was agreed that the little girl could join them on their trip. Later, during the trip, Tatsumi and Mirai snuck off in the hopes of a nearby hot spring rumored to let people talk with loved ones from the past. Kakashi and Guy soon found them, learning that the rumored hot spring was a ruse conceived by remnants of the near-forgotten Jashin cult to restore their former glory and power. Kakashi, along with Guy and Mirai, swiftly defeated the fanatics. Later, it was revealed that Kakashi and Guy's vacation was in fact a cover for their working with the Land of Hot Water to uncover the truth behind the missing girls. Graduation Exams Arc. Offering his services as a proctor for the upcoming graduation exams, Kakashi disguised himself as Sukiya, a freelance reporter who interviewed various students to better understand their respective nature. After classes, Kakashi met up with Boruto, who helped him meet with the students. As Boruto was amazed that his classmates all had plans for the future, some as ninja and some decided to pursue goals outside ninja work, Kakashi noted that while the world had become in less need of ninja skills can prove valuable in other fields. He also noted that regardless, one must always decide on goals if they wish to grow as individuals. Later, talking to Iruka in his office, Iruka suggested that Kakashi not be too hard on the students come the final exams. Kakashi clarifies that even in peaceful times, they can't allow students with contemptuous attitudes to become shinobi, and as such will be as challenging as ever. During the practical test of the exams, the students were left awe-stricken that the 6th Hokage was to be their head proctor. It was explained that while Shino Aburame, Anko Mitarashi, and Konohamaru Sarutobi would be evaluating the students' respective performances in a 24-hour field combat, ultimately only one student could pass. That student would be the one who takes a single bell from Kakashi's hip. While others were annoyed by this, Kakashi insisted that they had already had enough shinobi in this era of peace. As the test began, many of the students began to scramble. Boruto soon found Kakashi and attacked hard, but the legendary ninja easily saw through his tactics. While admitting that Boruto was truly a genius well above the rest of his generation, he still lacked a very crucial aspect to deserve being a ninja, quickly pinning the Uzumaki down. Kakashi explained that a ninja with no resolve will only doom themselves, and that Boruto is solely responsible for his classmates becoming so lazy and carefree. To prove his point, he revealed himself as Tsukiya from earlier, showing how well he knows Boruto. As Boruto continued to struggle free from the 6th hold, his fellow classmates provided enough distraction for him to escape. Later, having listened to the nature of Kakashi's words, but also to the encouragement of his friends, Boruto conceived a plan to save the captured classmates and pass the test, realizing the true nature behind it. Boruto designed a group assault on Kakashi, but he quickly saw through the facade, easily repelling the entire class's group assault on him. However, this was a trick that drew Kakashi into a group string-light formation. Deeply impressed, Kakashi attempted to repel them with a lightning burst, but the students refused to let the technique be broken, even when knocked to the ground. Ultimately, time ran out before anyone could get the bell. Despite Boruto's plan failing, Kakashi passed everyone, cheerfully noting while they actually had zero chance of taking the bell, they succeeded in the true goal of the test: teamwork and loyalty. Naruto Shinden, Parent and Child Day. When Konohagakure began a new holiday, Parent and Child Day, Kakashi discovered that the constantly traveling Sasuke had returned to the village and was struggling to connect with his daughter. Realizing that Sasuke hardly knew anything about his daughter since he had been away for most of her life, Kakashi decided to help out using ideas from his Icha series. Soon realizing that these ideas were better suited for a romantic couple, as they only succeeded in further estranging Sasuke from his daughter and even making Sasuke more furious at Kakashi, the retired Hokage suggested asking Sakura for advice since she knows her family better. Versus Momoshiki arc. As investigations on Kaguya continued, it was discovered that her creation of the White Zetsu army was an extra precaution for a looming threat. Sometime after attending a village meeting with Naruto, Kakashi attends the finals for the Chunin exams in Konoha alongside Guy and Iruka. When the stadium is attacked by Kinshiki and Momoshiki Otsutsuki, Kakashi helps rescue spectators in the arena. Mitsuki's disappearance arc. In the anime, after the defeat of the attackers and Konohagakure's recovery from the attack, a Kage summit was held. Kakashi and the other retired Kage were in attendance to discuss the still looming threat of the Otsutsuki. The next morning, when 2 Chunin Gate guards were attacked by unknown assailants, the village was put on lockdown. Kakashi joined Naruto and his advisors when overseeing Ino probe one of the guards' minds for answers, learning that Mitsuki had left willingly with the attackers. When Naruto revealed to the others Mitsuki was in fact Orochimaru's son, much outrage followed from learning that Naruto would permit an offspring of the man who killed the 3rd Hokage live in Konohagakure, let alone keep it a secret. Naruto rationalized this on the grounds that Orochimaru's conduct had changed from before and for his aid in investigating the Otsutsuki. Despite this, noting the unpredictable nature of Orochimaru, the meeting ended and deemed the Oto-born boy as a threat. As the council and Hokage continued to talk about how to best deal with this, Kakashi voiced his overall approval of Naruto's actions, noting that Naruto would never do anything he thought would bring danger to the village, and that the elders wouldn't even consider letting the boy in the village had they known the full story to begin with. Kara Actuation Arc. In the anime, Kakashi felt a bad air about him, worrying that things were going to get difficult for him. Kakashi's fears were soon realized when Boruto approached him for help. He got Ibiki Morino to transfer Shojoji from prison to a police facility to face off against Boruto. While Ibiki was concerned by this, Kakashi promised to take full responsibility. As Shojoji reminded Kakashi of the terms of their agreement, Kakashi swore to keep his word to reduce Shojoji's sentence, but that also meant that Shojoji would have to actually defeat Boruto. During the match, Shojoji's wind release Shield of the Wind count proved to be as powerful against Boruto's attacks as previously. This prompted Boruto to use his new Compression Rasengan. It was able to overpower Shojoji's defenses and swiftly defeat him. As Kakashi commended Boruto for coming up with the alternate plan to condense his Rasengan rather than expand it, Boruto collapsed as his long hours of training caught up to him. still impressing Kakashi with Boruto's capacities. Kakashi brought Boruto back to the hospital to recover. Upon his awakening, Kakashi applauded Boruto's accomplishments but warned him of the dangers of his new technique, noting that the compression Rasengan comes with great recoil that can cause great strain on his arm. It is not a technique that Boruto should use often. Later, Victor, president of the Land of Valley's premier medical and research company, was defeated and revealed as a member of Kara. While Kakashi voiced his horror at Victor's attempt to recreate the God Tree, it was also revealed from an investigation that Victor's laboratory had scriptures relating to Shoujoji's intel, vague information of a vessel, and secret knowledge that should only be known by the 5 Kage. Realizing that Kara had spies throughout the world, the question of whether or not to close the gates to the village came up. Kakashi voiced his opinion that closing off from the outside world would stunt growth. Ao Arc. In the anime, Kakashi attended the memorial service for the fallen people of the 4th Shinobi World War. Kawaki Arc. In the anime, following Jigen's attack on the village, the archives were soon broken into and data was stolen. Kakashi began his own investigation. He soon found Team 10's Genin trying to find the culprit as well. Impressed by how quickly they had found the culprit's hideout, he decided to work with them. Soon they found the culprit, Koji Kashin, who had made an escape. As he snuck into the crowd, Kakashi realized that he went underground into the sewer. He decided to go alone after determining the foe was too dangerous for the Genin. Along the way, Shikadai informed Kakashi that the sewers have an opening at the Thunder Rail. Kakashi realized that the sewer and train were both a diversion for Koji's true objective. He arrived before Koji at another archive site which housed physical data on a scroll not yet digitized from before the 4th Shinobi World War. Kakashi fought Koji, who retreated. Later, Shikadai voiced his theory that the reason why Koji was able to slip past the sensing barrier unnoticed was because he was a former Konoha nin. Kakashi agreed that it would also explain why he was after the scroll. Later, Kakashi aided Shikamaru's coordination efforts in preparation for Ishiki's invasion. Personality. Since his early childhood, Kakashi was very independent and self-confident, at times even appearing arrogant and condescending. Despite that, Kakashi was very perceptive and intuitive, quickly realizing the situation for what it was. After his father's death, Kakashi became more stern, aloof, and cold towards others, following all the rules to the letter, chastising any who disobeyed them, and being willing to abandon his comrades to finish missions. As an adult, Kakashi typically has a relaxed and almost bored attitude, not prone to getting too worked up about anything or by anyone. Despite his increasingly growing reputation and prowess as a ninja, Kakashi has shown no signs of arrogance and is rather modest about his abilities. He is habitually tardy, showing up late when it suits him, using excuses that convince nobody, and later leaving for equally poor reasons. Though Kakashi wants others to believe this is how he always acts, he only does so for matters that aren't of particular importance. In truth, Kakashi is a rather solitary and matter-of-fact person. He is still just as apathetic as he was during his youth, often speaking bluntly about sensitive topics and occasionally ignoring his fellow classmates whenever he passed them by. He is alone for most of his spare time, spending hours visiting Rin Nohara's grave or the memorial stone where Obito Uchiha's name is engraved. He tells them about his life, recent events in Konoha, and others they knew, but mostly he shares his regrets that they could not be with him or that their deaths were his fault. In the anime, after Rin died, Kakashi went through a period of post-traumatic stress disorder, having nightmares about her death and growing depressed whenever others mentioned her. Over time, Kakashi comes to accept that Rin chose to die, so his guilt instead became more about his broken promise to Obito. This fact causes Obito's apparent death to weigh more heavily on him, compounding the regret he feels about what his personality was even hours before Obito seemingly died. Kakashi feels that, had he cared more about teamwork and friendship in the same way that Obito did, Obito's death may have been avoided. Thinking it would ease his pain, Minato convinced Kakashi to join the Anbu. During his time in the Anbu, however, Kakashi gained a reputation for his cold-bloodedness. Obito's apparent death profoundly changed Kakashi. More particularly, he became committed to teamwork and always placed his teammates' well-being above the missions. He believes goals can be accomplished more efficiently together, asking for help whenever he needs it, providing help whenever it's requested of him, and praising allies when they deserve it. An abuse of one's teammates is the only thing that can make Kakashi cast aside his normally stoic demeanor, causing him to attack without mercy or his usual sense of sportsmanship. He expects his prospective students to demonstrate this same devotion to teamwork, which none until Team 7 were able to do, despite the high failure rate. Despite the high failure rate, the 3rd Hokage agrees with Kakashi's choice to require it. Kakashi becomes fond of all of Team 7's members, even Sasuke Uchiha, to the point of blaming himself for Sasuke's criminal acts and the team's growing rift over it through Part 2. He holds out hope that Sasuke will correct his behavior, and for his patience, he is able to see Team 7 reunified when Part 2 ends. Might Guy has considered Kakashi his rival ever since they first met in the academy. Despite his father's warning that Guy might someday prove stronger than him, Kakashi didn't think much of Guy at the time. Guy took this as a challenge and began striving to earn Kakashi's approval so as to show that his perseverance could be just as good as Kakashi's natural genius. When Guy would suggest contests to test how their abilities compared, Kakashi would respond with indifference, only fueling Guy's desires to defeat his cool, hip, and trendy personality. At the start of Part 1, Kakashi's score is 50 wins and 49 losses, though even when Guy takes the lead, the score difference remains the same. Considering that their competitions range from eating contests to rock, paper, scissors, the score isn't truly representative of anything. Kakashi eventually comes to consider Guy one of his closest and most reliable friends, and by the end of the Fourth Shinobi World War, he acknowledges that Guy has surpassed him. In the following years, during his role as Hokage, Kakashi continued to dutifully work to progress the village. At the same time, he still believes that even in times of peace, no one should become a ninja without appreciating the importance of it. When he first meets his students on Team 7, Kakashi claims to have many hobbies, none of which he chooses to share at the time. He is known to be an avid fan of the Icha Icha series of novels. He always has one of the books with him and he regularly reads it, even while talking to others. Naruto Uzumaki identifies Icha Icha as one of Kakashi's few weaknesses, which he's able to take advantage of during a bell test by threatening to spoil the ending of the newest book in the series, forcing Kakashi to shut his eyes and ears and thereby leave himself vulnerable. Although most people he knows are aware of how much he likes Icha Icha, Kakashi is seemingly uncomfortable sharing the books with others, to the point of growing embarrassed by the presumably adult content when he's forced to read passages aloud. One of the strongest ninja Konoha ever produced, Kakashi has earned recognition on sight by various high-level ninja. A prodigy, Kakashi showcased highly advanced skill from a young age, evidenced by his rapid rise through the ninja ranks. His prowess is said to rival an entire country. The S-rank members of Akatsuki acknowledge his might. He outmaneuvered Itachi Uchiha, albeit he couldn't use his Mangekyo Sharingan at the time, fought Kisame Hoshigaki and Kakuzu to a standstill, and was deemed a major threat by Pain. After Kaguya's defeat, Kakashi's combat prowess continued to increase despite the loss of his Sharingan, due to no longer needing to passively expend chakra because he could not deactivate it like an Uchiha. Against Koji Kashin, one of Kara's strongest inners, Kakashi was able to pressure the foe into retreating. In general, Kakashi is very versatile with advanced proficiency in countless areas, including mastery of all three main ninja skills. Naruto Uzumaki says Kakashi is smarter than Shikamaru Nara, has a better sense of smell than Kiba Inuzuka, is more adept with the Sharingan than Sasuke Uchiha, and has better taijutsu skill than Rock Lee, each of whom are well known for their high capacities in their respective areas. Kakashi's Genjutsu prowess is able to use basic techniques to major effect for intimidation and distraction. Kakashi's combat and tactical prowess are so revered that many foresaw his rise to Hokage status years before it happened. However, the Sage of Six Paths believed Kakashi's greatest strength is as a teacher, leader, and friend, all of which prove vital in Kage Otsutsuki's defeat.
Last up is Rin Nohara. Although her feats and exploits pale in comparison to the rest of her squad, she's basically the glue that held it all together. Without her, things would go sideways very quickly, and, well, boy did they ever. Enjoy.
Rin Nohara was a Chunin of Konohagakure and a member of Team Minato. She was forcibly made into the Jinchuriki of the Three Tails Isobu as an elaborate scheme by Kirigakure to destroy her village. Rin, however, would ultimately sacrifice herself to ensure the safety of the people she loved. Background: Rin spent her young childhood playing alongside her best friend Obito Uchiha, often cheering him on when he struggled. On the day of their entrance into the academy, Rin was present when Obito arrived after the ceremony had ended, which left him dismayed. Rin, however, handed Obito his entrance documents, which he was very thankful for. Rin was also the first to congratulate Kakashi Hatake after he had graduated from the academy a year ahead of the rest of his class, Kakashi having gotten his own forehead protector after successfully performing the clone technique. After graduating from the academy a few years later, Rin was placed under the Jonin tutelage of Minato Namikaze, alongside Obito and Kakashi. In the anime, for their final test to become Genin, Minato tasked his potential students with taking one of the two bells from him in actual combat. While initially the team attacked Minato independently, easily being outmaneuvered by the veteran ninja, Kakashi convinced Rin and Obito to work with him, ultimately earning Minato's approval to become his students as they passed the real test, showing teamwork. When Minato's students partook in the Chunin exams, Rin and Kakashi stood outside the gates of the Forest of Death, waiting on the chronically late Obito to arrive. While in the forest, they were confronted by Might Guy, Genma Shiranui, and Ebisu. Before they could attack as a team though, Rin was shocked to see Obito move to attack, but before Obito could do anything, he was knocked down by Guy. She later dressed Obito's wounds as Obito professed his pride in his clan and his dream to be Hokage. She later watched with bated anticipation and cheered as Kakashi fought Guy during the third round of the exams, with Kakashi defeating Guy. After Kakashi became a Jonin, Rin would concoct a top-secret celebration for him, much to Obito's dismay due to the fact that Obito had hoped to use the moment to presumably tell Rin that he loved her. During the Third Shinobi World War, Team Minato was assigned to destroy the Kanabi Bridge. During the mission, Rin was kidnapped by Taiseki during the course of the mission, and Kako, another one of her captors, attempted to interrogate her using genjutsu to find out if she knew anything about Konoha's war efforts. Rin's will, however, proved too strong and did not break even under the genjutsu. She was later rescued by Kakashi and Obito. Although they succeeded in rescuing her, Obito was crushed in a cave-in caused by Kako. Before Obito died, however, he asked Rin to implant his Sharingan into Kakashi's left eye socket to replace the latter's damaged one. Wasting no time given the very grim circumstances, Rin began the procedure immediately, after which she and Kakashi were forced to flee when enemy reinforcements arrived and continued the cave-in. Minato would later arrive on the scene and defeat the Iwanin. After Kakashi had recovered, the team went on to complete their mission and destroy the bridge. In the anime, it was shown that Rin was sent out on a mission with Kakashi and Guy. With their situation looking grim, Guy used himself as a decoy to lead away the Iwagakure shinobi, and Kakashi went after him. Rin later returned with backup from Konoha, which caused the enemy nin to retreat. Sometime after the events at Kanabi Bridge, Rin was secretly kidnapped by Madara Uchiha under the guise of Kirigakure's doing, and had Isobu sealed into her. She was also branded with the Forbidden Individual Curse tag and programs that the tailed beast would be let loose within Konoha once she and Kakashi returned to the village. She was soon rescued by Kakashi. To ensure the retrieval of the tailed beast, various Jonin and Anbu-leveled Kiri shinobi were sent to chase after them. Surmising the true reason she was made a Jinchuriki, Rin, being unable to take her own life, asked Kakashi to kill her in order to protect the village, which Kakashi refused, stating that he had vowed to Obito to protect her by any means necessary. Rin, however, later chose to commit suicide rather than risk Konoha's safety, which she achieved by intercepting Kakashi's Chidori, which was meant to hit a Kirinin, impaling herself and dying before the boy she liked, with the two unaware of Obito's presence. Rin also used the last of her strength to whisper Kakashi's name before she died, with her death leaving the enemy ninja stunned and both Kakashi and Obito horrified. Seconds later, as Kakashi passed out due to exhaustion, Obito, who had witnessed the scene, responded by viciously and mercilessly slaughtering all the enemy ninja in sight before holding Rin's body and vowing to recreate a world where he and Rin could ultimately be together again. In the afterlife, Rin would spend her time always watching Obito, just as she assured him long ago, and patiently waited for him to one day join him. It is not known what became of Rin's body after she died, but it is presumed that Obito either buried her or that they were discovered and her body was taken back to Konoha and buried in the Konoha cemetery. Kaguya Otsutsuki strikes. Following Obito's death at the hands of Kaguya Otsutsuki, he was greeted in the afterlife by Rin, who stated that she had waited for him. Apologizing for taking so long and getting lost along the way, Obito told her that a lot of things had happened since then, as she reached out her hand. Filled with guilt, Obito tried to tell her that he failed his promise of becoming Hokage, and that he got lost along the way. However, Rin assured him that it was okay because he tried his very hardest. Taking his hand, Rin told the young Uchiha that up to this day she was always watching over him, and asked him to come with her to the other side. Before departing with Rin, however, Obito asked her to wait a little bit longer, much to her surprise, as he wanted to give Kakashi something to help him during his battle against Kaguya. Rin teased Obito that despite the two boys' petty fights and arguments, they were still the closest of friends, much to her amusement at Obito's embarrassment. Stating she'll wait for him, Rin watched as Obito teleported to the living world to support Kakashi, and later returned to the afterlife with Rin after Kaguya's defeat. Legacy. Rin's death had a huge impact on her friends. Initially, it caused both Kakashi and Obito, who survived the cave-in and watched the events unfold from afar, to awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan in their respective eyes, and ultimately caused Obito to exact revenge by killing all the enemy ninja in sight while sparing Kakashi. In the anime, Kakashi developed post-traumatic stress disorder from killing Rin, suffering many nightmares of her death, which would persist in adulthood, with one of them consisting of the impaled Rin whispering Kakashi's name before angrily yelling it, which awoke Kakashi and left him extremely terrified and guilt-ridden. Since Rin's death, Kakashi would regularly visit her grave to clean her tombstone and leave her flowers, even sharing top-secret intel with her such as Naruto Uzumaki's birth, unaware that Obito was in hiding. Rin's death, much like the deaths of every other person dear to him, affected Kakashi, but more so than usual because Rin had loved Kakashi and also used him to kill her with his own hands. Even on the verge of death himself during Pain's assault on Konoha, Kakashi lamented on how he failed to protect Rin, and said he was going to see her alongside the rest of their team. When her death was brought up much later, Kakashi was visibly stunned to the point of being unable to move. Rin's death had an even deeper impact on Obito. The sight of Rin's corpse shattered Obito's idealism and drove him into embracing his clan's curse of hatred, growing to hate reality itself for allowing such a system to permit senseless deaths. Rin's death also served as the motivation for Obito to carry out Madara's Eye of the Moon plan, to create a new world where heroes did not have to stand over graves and make pitiful excuses. Obito even claimed that Rin was the only light in his life. Ultimately, despite the dark path he ended up taking, he was in a way able to fulfill the promise he made to Rin when he gave his life to protect Naruto Uzumaki, who would prove crucial in the sealing of Kaguya Otsutsuki, meaning Obito's act of sacrifice indirectly saved the world, just as he promised Rin all those years ago. Overall, Rin died a loyal shinobi to her village, despite being kidnapped and made a Jinchuriki in an attempt to wreak chaos on Konoha by Kiri. She chose to die, opting to commit suicide rather than even risk bringing destruction to her home, strongly exemplifying the will of fire inherited by the generation of Konoha shinobi.
And that wraps up our Team Minato compilation. This squad played an enormous role in changing the shinobi world, and their actions have repercussions that still ring out today. What did you think of seeing all their lives play out back to back? Really adds some perspective to their actions, eh? Let us know which Team Minato member is your favorite down in the comments, and until next time, peace out.
Did you enjoy our video? Well then be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.